Hey kitties! Welcome back to the final stream for Chapter 15 story. Today, we'll be seeing where this outcome turns out for the Game Master's clapback. It seems they are dumping a bunch of extras on us, aka Starmen from the sky. So let's go ahead and see what's up with that. As per usual, let me know if there's anything wrong with the sound, and we'll hop right into the story. Oh yeah, welcome back, Scarlet. It seems that, I guess you may have noticed I was a bit weirded out by the story yesterday. I mean, I guess part of that I wasn't feeling the mood, but also another part was, on thinking about it, the story did seem to kind of, take a left turn in terms of switching from rule makers focus to game masters. I mean, nonetheless, it was a lot of backstory for the rule makers, but the plot, or at least the rule makers' plot, wasn't moving forward that much. And it seems that we probably are going to just take a pause on that. Maybe the rule makers' plot is pretty much donezo now, and we are going to be facing Starman now, so presumably, as per the second half of the title of this chapter, it's all game masters here forth. Alright, let us do this. It is a wide map featuring Starman, with no coin reward for whatever reason. I do not understand why he decided to include some coin rewards for some quests, but not others. In which case, we can go ahead and bring either like an ally point booster or like, you know, card EXP booster. Hey, early arrival, good to see you. So, it looks like we have a Toji here for some reason. So we will be going ahead and bringing an ally point booster because he does have that sweet 100 ally points, so we can multiply that by into 200, 300, 400, and 500. So, like, you know, enough for like one pull or two pulls. All right, let's go ahead and do this. For the time when gates would constantly open in the Tokyo sky, otherworldly beings still came to arrive in this land, drifting ashore from time to time. These are ogres, though some call them demons or devils. Right. Toji is from like a portal time, not portal, what are they called? Pre-gate time, where transients still existed, but the gates did not. Toji occupies a rarely seen middle space between human and ogre, and has seen friends demonized in exactly this manner. Hey Glitch, you've arrived and you aren't ready for... you aren't ready for class? Okay, well, maybe you should get ready for class. As a result, he's never quite been able to feel at home in human society and was thus taken in by an organization called the Sakimori. Interesting, so he is not a native Sakimori. They operate behind the scenes of regular society, taking requests to exorcise demons with connections to public institutions all over Tokyo, probably such as the Tokyo Police Department. Wholeheartedly throwing his lot in with the Sakimori organization, Toji has fallen a bit out of touch with the inner workings of the human world. That's a nice sword sound effect. I wish they would use that more often rather than the generic slash sound effect whenever we return from battle into the visual novel section again. But the Sakimori has given him everything he could have asked for, from barrier technique to exercise control over himself to a pair of cursed twin blades he could use to fight demons. Demons could bring disaster upon Tokyo, he reasoned. As such, he determined that they must be eliminated. No, not that sound effect. That doesn't even sound like a sword. I don't even know what it's supposed to sound like. This calling came to be his identity, the very meaning for his existence. He felt he was chosen to exorcise demons and help keep the city safe. That high-altitude attack was clearly intended strictly for us world representatives. Boris mutters this to himself as he shelters from the rain of fire shortly after he and Naharumaza return to the future city. The attack has the general feel of a willful attempt from high above the heavens to eradicate the world representatives altogether. I guess everyone can hide underneath as a butterbird leaf. whatever it's called. And though Goku is able to withstand the impacts of these fireballs by way of his giant leaf secret artifact, he and the other world representatives know that no future can be forged if one is in a perpetual state of defense. Everyone, quickly! Take cover! You must shield yourself as best as you can from the shockwaves and debris. Despite the warnings, neither the Mega Alliance members nor Baal and his acolytes are truly prepared for the force of the impacts. Blown every which way, the battlefield erupts into chaos. What's happening? It's like the stars are falling. At least we have yet to be struck directly, but even the force of the impacts is beyond formidable. Our best bet for surviving this onslaught is to brace ourselves behind cover. Fight a wall if you can, and hang on tightly. Oh, this is absurd! What could they possibly be thinking? Do those who call the shots within the rulemakers even fully grasp the ramifications of this? Amaterasu and I are the targets, aren't we? It seems everything is proceeding according to plan. Mikhail mutters his take on the current situation while dodging the attacks from above through the superhuman speed afforded to him by the wings. Now, every player will have the equal standing on this stage. You try to take cover in the back alley, only for shrapnel from a nearby impact explosion to chase you all the way down. Am I supposed to touch all this? Somebody, please help! Arthur. What is that? I have no idea what he's gesturing towards. Just as the debris is about to hit you, you're scooped up and whisked away into the sky by a Blackwing transient. That's not good, narrowly avoiding a possible devastating blow. Considering these game masters want us dead now, just like Beowulf. The transient sits you down behind a wall and shoots you a cool, commanding gaze for a moment before saying anything. Well, you're still alive, Shovi. So, that's good. Even though I was hoping for the exact opposite until, well, just a few days ago. Hey, thanks for saving me. My hero. So gallant. So striking. Ah. Oh, I guess it's just a vessel that's important here, since the person within seems to have to read the room. Oh, but I shouldn't say such things. I took an oath to protect all citizens. It's inappropriate of me to run them out like that. Name's Raven. I'm the fire commissioner here in Tokyo. The Commissioner Raven, the city's top fire official. This area is extremely dangerous. You need to evacuate immediately. Fall close behind me and try to keep up. Raven reaches his hand out to you and puts on a confident, reassuring smile. Nah, just hold on a tick. Look, there's part of the Game Masters, one of the administrative guilds. Yeah. Let's not trust him. Several members of the Arakawa Wanderers come running up behind you, shouting out for you to exercise caution in dealing with this ritual. Game Masters? He's admin. Oh, Golden Gotch. Things have gotten a little rough thanks to that meddlesome Daikoku. Raven lets out a small sigh, then looks down at you with a stern expression and says the following. It's true. I am part of the Oshiagi Game Masters, who help maintain the game here in Tokyo. We've planted ourselves in all sorts of public service positions throughout the city, helping out behind the scenes in many ways. Well, at least in principle, we're completely forbidden from it directly interfering with the game itself. However, there's something of a disaster occurring right now, so I'm duty-bound to get you out of harm's way. Sure, Jan. So listen well. You and your friends need to turn tail and get back to Shinjuku, Arthur. I need to go more on that than that, Raven. That alone isn't going to convince me. As I said, I'm forbidden from interfering, and that includes giving info. But these are extenuating circumstances. So, fine. Let me assure you in advance that everything I'm about to tell you is thoroughly vetted. You have my word as an admin. Last time we got a lore dump from a Game Master was Alice, and that was literally 8 chapters ago, so quite a while. The disaster that's presently striking this future city is unequivocally meant for the world representatives, and only them. And every world representative you know lacks the ability to counteract this indefinitely, so they will definitely succumb. World reps? You sure they're the targets here? And by succumb, do you mean? Of course. And why are you still asking questions? Isn't this enough for you? They're your enemies, right? So if they're being rooted out, wouldn't you agree your best course of action is to sit on silence and just wait? You need to get all your things together and return to Shinjuku pronto. Your watcher's gone, so you couldn't be more vulnerable. Not that he was protecting us in any way, considering he killed us in a future and or past loop. And I still have friends to rescue, though, and I still have to find Mr. Mononobe. You'd be wise to give up on those you haven't rescued yet, or you'll put all those you have at grave risk. As for Housamo Mononobe's memory unit, the responsibility there lies with the administration, so we Game Masters will recover it. Maintaining a complete record of the game's events is our solemn duty after all, and Housamo Mononobe is part of that system. Won't you please just cooperate with me, Trophy? Even King Solomon followed our instructions. That's why the hierarchy was established in the first place, to help determine in a pinch who to save and who not to. The idea is to keep sacrifices and losses to a minimum. Without a system in place for that, you're liable to lose everything. Every king, every ruler who's lived couldn't escape from that reality. There's nothing to be gained by wasting any more time in this disaster area. Should a rescuee refuse to follow critical directives, standard procedure is to calm them and bring them to a safe zone. That's an... Oh, it's the Sarmin. Other members of the Mech Alliance of Guilds attempt to step forward and lend you their aid, but they're stopped in their tracks by the sudden appearance of an unknown force. Are people emerging from the debris? Raven, who are they? And what are they? I keep telling you, I can't say or do anything that'll interfere with the natural progression of the game. What I can tell you, though, on my honor as an administrator, is that those people are not part of the Game Masters. Did you not coordinate this with the extras, though? Presumably they're part of the extras. Sorry to say, but this is for your own good, Trophy. I won't take your life, but I will extract you by force if I have to. Ooh, forceful police captain. Yeah, eat shit. Ooh, let's go, Toji. Raven draws near you, but before he can make use of his Ikar effect, Toji blocks it with his own cursed twin blades. Yeah, I really don't think it's a good idea, personally, to go with Raven Arthur. As soothsaying as his words are, you know, just trust me. Let's be real, this was caused by Game Masters, even after being wish-washy and saying they're not the Game Masters. Yeah, Silver Tongue indeed. Do not be fooled by the Silver Tongue words of Commissioner Raven Arthur. Raven, you refer to this as though it were a natural disaster, yet further claim it is targeted at the world representatives. Not only is this a contradiction, but it also seems impossible for you to make such an assertion if your guild has no involvement. Pretty sussy. Yeah, he just wants to take custody of us. Raven glares back at Toji, his expression taking on a more sinister front, as if to say he's given up on even trying to hide the truth. And I'm pretty sure he actually wants to kill us, even though he says he's not gonna. The way of a glance at these creatures, Raven, calls to mind something all too familiar from my own past. It is not unlike how the heads of the Public Safety Bureau looked at me. And now, I understand they were evaluating my performance. They anticipated that half-man, half-ogre such as myself would turn against them, and consider if I was worth keeping around. Of course, I was in their employ, so it was a mutual transaction, as I wished to give a favorable impression of myself. And I hope you do not get the wrong idea from this revelation, Nathan. I feel no regret or resentment anymore. Not as long as you're here in Tokyo. Not with you accepting me for who I am. Sakimori, you've grown since then. You've matured both in body and mind. Perhaps that just means I've gotten old. So we have met then, and I thought I recognized your face. Perhaps it was when I went around to introduce myself as Sakimori. It seems you're not lying about planting roots here. You're hiding something, aren't you? Commissioner Raven, I would like to point out that refraining from lying is not the same thing as telling the truth. We Guild Alliance members have only just received pertinent intel from a detective based out of Shinjuku. What's Nomad Cat say? It is regarding a certain figure who has forged an alliance with Mikhail and Amaterasu, the world representative of Utopia. The Rulemaker's chain of command is sacrosanct. As a guild, their information control is second to none. However, should any inquiry be made with any member of the Rulemakers regarding the identity of Utopia's world representative, without fail, the member in question would unconsciously glance up at the stars, if only for but a moment. So I guess even though we don't know who the Utopia world rep is, and it seems to be a mystery so far, it seems that everyone in Rulemakers, at least within this upper brass, seems to actually have an idea who he is. Additionally, something strange had been observed with one of Amaterasu's personal acquaintances. Specifically, a tendency to indulge in stargazing. Ooh. As I was acting as sort of a retainer to the Utopia, what's it called, world rep, for longer and longer periods of time. Both Amaterasu and Oz, that is. A trifling detail, admittedly, but still. So, what is it you wanted to ask me about, Toji? Is it about my brother? About Azazoth? Well, I recently inquired with a friend of mine regarding the world representatives I've yet to learn anything about. So would Azazoth know about it? And do you want to know if I can tell you anything about them? I see. Well, you probably already know about the one who's constantly saying things that don't seem to follow any sort of reason. Oh, but there was one thing. Something about reaching something outside of oneself, way up in the heavens. I don't think that's going to be much of a help to you, though. Sorry. Whatever that means, please, Toji, interpret. All of these are just points of force, but when you start to connect them together, the bigger picture becomes clear. What is it you said a moment ago, Raven? That every world representative we know lacks the ability to counteract this? Yeah, that's probably false. You also specified that the Game Masters helped maintain the game here in Tokyo, if I am not mistaken. I have an idea it has to do with the location as well as the allegiance of the Utopia Rulemaker, or Rule Rep. Maybe he's actually part of the Game Masters. I'm not entirely sure. So do tell, if you would be so kind, from the perspective of an admin charged with ensuring the continuance of this game. If all remaining world representatives are unable to withstand this high-altitude attack, how will that affect its outcome? Will the last world representative standing take home the trophy? Somehow, I doubt the administration would accept such a win. That leads me to believe you are well aware of which players in particular can see this onslaught through to the end. And the horse you have bet on will no doubt elect to continue the game rather than accept such hollow victory. So, are they saying the Utopia World Rep wants to continue the game and is therefore a part of the Game Masters? So, Commissioner Raven, although the scheme I have outlined here is petty, I believe it is to be the truth. Is it? Well, it's not petty at least. We're doing what we have to do, and there are still many things I'm not at liberty to say. Such as my true name or the name of this sword. And I hope you're ready to face that sword head-on, little chickadees. I've grown used to playing the heel since my days back in old homeland. Strike him down. Sharpen senses! Alright, that's board one of them. Raven Arthur talks like for kind of a trashy unit, but let's go ahead and do it. Oh yeah, he's totally cooperating with this bitch. Jeez. Oh, they're not part of the Game Masters. Never mind, they're already here. Oh, so that's what it's translated to. It's called Outer Wall? When was that translated? Alright. Hitters! Oh wow, they're quite resistant, huh? Right, attributed disadvantage. I got the bear! Arthur is a human king praised far and wide, at the same standard as Solomon throughout the worlds. The story goes that when he freed the sword from its seal, revealing himself to be the one and future king, he understood everything. Ah, I see. Someone had to be chosen for this. As long as there is a hierarchy, there must always be someone at the bottom of it. And by that same token, someone must be chosen for the very top as well. Even as many people as there are stars in the night sky should play rock, paper, scissors over and over and over again, there would eventually be but a single winner. Yet with the odds of being chosen so low, many who are not chosen would inevitably find it hard to believe that this one person could come out on top. Cheater, they proclaim. Others would then come to his defense. He's the chosen one, they'd say. It's his destiny to be king. The truth of Arthur's selection, however, is much less grandiose. There was no cheating and no destiny. It was simply luck of the draw. If one were to place a number of apples in a row, there would always be one that's the biggest and one that's the smallest. And that's basically all that's happened here. The biggest apple of the bunch was heralded as a hero of legend, and rumored without warrant to be the bearer of an impossibly mystical fate. Of course, no one would ever outwardly decry these claims. Imagine what would happen if they did, and if people took these truths to heart. They would lose their hero, and the land would die out. And besides, what harm did it do for the people to believe in him? He knew well what needed to be done as king. Also, you can imagine that bear approaching in the middle of the fight and giving his contact with the bow. I see. And so Arthur accepted his title as the one chosen by the sword. He was granted immortality and regarded as a god by his loyal subjects. One of his first orders of business was to appoint knights from far and wide to help him maintain stability in his kingdom. These would become the highly accomplished Knights of the Round Table. These same knights heralded the end of his reign as well. When they were ultimately disbanded, as they inevitably would be from the start, that was it. They say in those final days, after serving for so long and as a vital cog in the system, King Arthur acted as a standing dictated, gracefully stepping down and handing over his sword. Yet even as he did so, the regular mortal side of him couldn't help but wonder if there wasn't another way. With the paradise of Avalon in his mind, King Arthur gave up the eternity he knew and stretched his arms up toward the heavens. And just like that, he'd been transported to Tokyo. Taking on Raven as an alias, he accepted a position as commissioner within the Tokyo Fire Department. In doing so, he earned a role to protect this land, this Tokyo, from disaster, all the while watching over the progress of the so-called game everyone seems to be playing. Not as a human, but transformed into a crow, he came to join the Game Masters. Are those canes that both Oscar and Raven have related to administrative powers? What I'm understanding is that Utopia's world representative has been in league with the administration from the very start. Okay, so it does seem to be, if not directly part of the Game Masters, they are at least cooperating with them. Which is counter to Amaterasu and Mikhail, who were just cooperating with the entertainers before they backstabbed them, and that was pretty much it. It's plain as day, at least, that this existence is involved with the base design of the game. And if that's the case, then there's never been equality among the world representatives. Not once! Since the very start! Oh yeah, that's true. That would be kind of biased if one of them was cooperating with the Game Masters. The boy very matter-of-factly breaks the situation down into simple terms for all present, forming his conclusions by working his way backwards from what's known. If all the players aside from the Utopian world representative are indirectly limited by outside forces, then this is the only answer that accounts for the administration's aims. And once the world representatives have all been eliminated, the only thing that remains is to restart the loop. They did briefly touch on what it would mean to be the victor with the trophy, to take the trophy for their own. It seems that it might be a sort of touch-and-go thing, where the administration has to accept the victory, so it seems that the true decider of the condition for what is victory counts as a victory is ultimately determined by the Game Masters. This also serves as proof of the reverse, however, that the administration has direct ties with the Utopian player. It's in the midst of this discussion that Moritaka's team returns from their effort to rescue abducted citizens. The road leading them here has been largely flattened and scarred, telling the story of just how fiercely the area has been hit. Don't you see what this means, everyone? It means there's quite literally no good reason for us to continue fighting, even though you started it. Pardon? At long last, we have the proof we need to show just how unbalanced, how unjust things are for us right now. Mikhail unconsciously plays with his balance as he soars through the sky at breakneck speeds, a smile plastered on his face. Is he trying to say this plan wasn't even about taking victory, but rather it was to expose the Utopian world rep as part of the Game Masters, as to show the fraud of the game? Moreover, I can prove to you, my dear brother, that I stand not just atop one hierarchy, but at the top of every world. Am I so surprised? It's undeniable. We've been shown with certainty that fighting is futile. As this realization dawns on him clearer and clearer, he turns towards Moritaka and makes a triumphant declaration. So, why don't you and I, let's band together in the face of this new enemy? This is turning into quite an epic, don't you think? Or could it be you're a little too embarrassed to be a little kid like me take point on this? Shinbei Inoue casts his lot, fully confident both in his reasoning and in his literal ability to always find path to victory. Yo, Yasuke, welcome. Of course, this is but a single piece of his worldly wisdom. It's an attempt to take control of the situation and influence the flow of events, as he has grown accustomed to doing. No, that's not it, Masashi. Shinbei Inoue certainly does speak the truth, as best as anyone can tell, but it's the truth as it applies to the current timeline, the truth that precedes the present and the expected future. For everyone to go along with the truth, this truth, they would no doubt be able to adapt to whatever situation comes their way and avoid destruction to the bitter end. However... You want to kick Masashi? I mean, he's designed to be that smug. We saw it at a subterranean labyrinth in Roppongi. We saw that what might come to pass for the 8 Dog Warriors. Ooh. Okay, the lore reasons for the dungeon quest. If you haven't seen it, this is actually finally the most relevant part about it. I mean, I guess Toji gained his powers, but that was neither here nor there during the story. But yeah, let's not keep all the Dog Warriors alive for one purpose, because there's something bad might happen. It was a continuous pattern of fighting one foe, then seeking the next, losing sight of the enemy and falling apart from within. There's something we've been missing. Something we just haven't been paying attention to, and we need to discuss it. Moritaka. First of all, I don't want anyone calling me Masashi, so don't... Nobumichi! Nobumichi gently takes the angered pup into his arms and with a deadpan look in his eyes and a calming tone of voice, speaks to him. Hey, Masashi! Let's just listen to what they have to say, okay? Let's hear them out. Oh yeah, that was a long part 1. Alright, part 2 of the Promised Land battle in a small map. And we will get another mob. And we are facing Raven Arthur and a bunch of Starmen, and whoever this magic person is, maybe it's, what's it called? Willy Wildcat, possibly? Alright, let's do this. Oh wow, this is quite a strange selection of units to be pairing up. Who would be useful here? Let's not even pretend. It's gonna be Kokopelli. Alright, let's do this. Let's hop right in. Baphomet realizes that one of their big problems is they've always focused squarely on what they can and can't do. I've always felt that the only way to prove I'm unique in this world is by capitalizing on things that only I am capable of doing. As such, I've come to wholly reliant on my rule to manipulate how those in my vicinity perceive me. Which, in a sort of better irony, causes me more anxiety than anything else. I once took joy in simply making others think more highly of me. But I've essentially weaponized my uniqueness at this point. I shamefully cling to that and live my life by it. These days, however, I'm occasionally confronted with a sudden feeling of helplessness. Whenever that happens, all I want is for someone, anyone to look my way, to give me the slightest regard, even when I have nothing to show for it. I want someone to tell me that they've been watching me for some time, even if it's from afar, as though I'm some sort of god. I want someone who won't toss me aside despite the embarrassment and shame I embody. Baphomet rises to the surface while closely observing the struggle between the Archangel Michael and the latest Malik cyborg Kokopelli. At the sight of the future city in flames, they are rendered speechless. What in the world? Algernon is equally shaken by the sight. He and his mouse hobble their way back to their employer. Polar bears have landed! Big dogs are in position as well! The objects raining down from on high seem to be escape pods of sorts, with mysterious troops emerging from each. These strange troops quickly occupy the future city. Halt! Who are you? This portal belongs to the rule makers! The rule makers' soldiers train their drone turrets on the unknown invaders, preparing to fire at the moment's notice. Wildcat unit! Respond! Newcomer, you're up! Ora! New recruit, Willy Wildcat is on the case! The soldier named Willy quickly affirms the order he receives from his first sergeant and takes aim with his massive sacred artifact, which appears to be a hand cannon. Commencing particle acceleration! Sodium ignition engaged! World's corrupt trigger! Remember when Willy was super relevant for a minute? Did our drones just self-destruct? Whoa, what's going on? This wasn't in any of our future scenarios. The rule makers are instantly shaken to their core as they realize they may be dealing with a foe their predictive logic cannot account for. One by one, the soldiers are all given up any attempt at resistance and raise their hands in surrender. Memories are passed along selectively among the rule makers. Naturally, this holds true even for world representatives. Corinne mutters to herself as she observes the super high altitude attacks specifically targeting her and her fellow players. Where is this location? Is this like down in Tokyo or is this somewhere high up? Seems we finally come to a situation that falls outside the scope of what's covered in the future memories we've been given. Corinne is oddly unperturbed by the flurry pods raining down from the sky. Instead of reacting with shock or concern, she immediately jumps to damage control. System MSC1 activated. Full name. Oh, that's the full name. MX Other S Type C1. Leapion irreversibility. Chrono acceleration. You can catch this at the end of the BG? Interesting. Somehow ignoring the laws of space and time entirely, the hail of pods changed trajectory. Now falling not today, but upon the day after tomorrow instead. Ooh, time manipulation. The ball is in your respective courts now, my fellow prodigies. I'm sure you must also be monitoring the situation closely. How do you read it? Duo, I'm particularly interested to know what your take is. I know that Duo is essentially cooperating with both Bertro and Isaac at this point, but Kern was supposed to be an antagonist at this point since she hasn't actually lost, but I guess all bets are off since the Game Masters are counteracting them. The white-haired Kern strokes her robot as she poses her questions into the ether. Final coup de grace to save her fellow siblings. I have no idea how it sounds. R19 here. Opening persistent communication channel. Do you read me? Over. R19 takes advantage of the confusion as the other members of the Mega Alliance of Guilds scramble for safety, locating a seemingly secure spot to send a message. Duo here. Good to hear from you, R19. I've got video and audio. The current situation is being closely monitored. You're ordered to prioritize self-preservation above all else. We've entered a new phase, and there's nothing more you can do. It's scary to think that Utopia's world representative has been able to so perfectly foresee everything that's happened. We are the Guild Extras! We have an order to target world representatives only. We have no missive to attack you. We accept your surrender. We repeat, your surrender is accepted. We will not harm you. As you have surrendered, we can guarantee your safety and well-being beyond your wildest imagination. You guys are like doing this position. The Rulemaker's soldiers continue to surrender en masse, getting down on their knees and putting their hands high in the air to indicate their concession. They almost look to be praying. They can't even put a name on the foe they're surrendering to. All they know is that this force boasts a power beyond anything they can even comprehend. And that's all they need to know. If the very existence of these beings defy imagination, one can only assume that they're capable of equally unimaginable terror. Safety and well-being beyond their wildest imagination. Strange wording, but the strange part is, there is some truth to that. Duo thinks back to an account written in one of the official documents from the laboratory where he was born. Systemtopia. A future system in which humans managed to create superhumans with their own two hands. But its biggest breakthrough was in providing humans with answers to questions they couldn't even conceive, much less pose. I'm not talking about the outmoded concept of totalitarianism. No, this goes well beyond that. That's more like, the system can now guarantee us a better future than anything we could ever even imagine for ourselves. It's a statistical fact that humans feel safer and more content when they entrust all their thoughts and decisions to a system. Given the finite capabilities of the human brain, from which thought is derived, this feature was almost ironically inevitable. Beyond simply the fact that the system of acceleration elevates self-worth and world peace above all else, it also provides answers that go well beyond individual potential. That's why it's so important for humans to choose this system of their own free will. The world progresses to a point where human thought holds no value, and there's nothing more anyone can accomplish. Yeah, that's a bit relevant nowadays with all the AI bullshit nowadays happening. What? Do my eyes deceive me? Isn't that... Truth be told, Toji, a genuine unit who hasn't received an evolution that was any good, would totally fuck over Raven Arthur, a very recent unit. You may as well just surrender, chickadees. You must realize by now that there's literally nothing you can do here anymore. The block plus L plus ratio. The attacks are measured. Clearly intended not to do significant harm, even if they connect. He's being noticeably very careful. Nonetheless, he is slowly but surely driving you and the rest of the Mega Alliance members against a metaphorical wall. Handedly overpowering you and leaving you with nowhere to run. You chickadees have no sense of what this world is about, so let me repeat. There is nothing you can do here. You are powerless. Oh, spare me your high and mighty nonsense. I don't believe a word of it, Raven. You're just as powerless as we are. What? Give us back Jiro and the others! Give us back Mr. Mononobe! But actually, you can't, can you? Arthur? He's making a strong case. Ignoring Mr. Mononobe's memories for now. Why is it you cannot return our friends to us exactly? If he truly does possess a superior power, and can guarantee our safety, then shouldn't he be able to demonstrate as such by rescuing Ryota, Kengo, Shiro, and the others? Shouldn't he be able to demonstrate that he is as he says by fulfilling your meager wishes? It should be a simple task for him, and yet... I have no doubt you are powerful, but much as with us, I'm certain there are still many things you cannot do. These damnable chickadees don't know when to keep their beaks shut! There's them! Your guild allies rush in to intervene, but they're too late. With a whirlwind-like motion, Raven unleashes his might upon you. He then moves in closer, prepared to strike against and perhaps finish you off. But just at that moment... That's what I thought, asshole! Caught off guard, Raven quickly pulls his sword back and moves away for the first time, pulling some distance between the two of you. You conniving little... You can't finish me off, can you? That's yet another thing you can't do. With King Solomon, your watcher, no longer present, the administration is being very careful not to bring any harm to their trophy. Raven's attacks reflect this, so your attempts to throw yourself on his blade leave him with little choice but to back off. My dear chickadee, that is an underhanded, dishonorable way to fight. Aren't you embarrassed to be seated like that? Of course I am, but I have no choice. It doesn't bother me either way, though. Nice timing comes the song. I can't abandon my friends. They are my sole concern right now. Arson. I thought it was coming, Bell. Oh, how delightful, Twisted. How utterly shameless. Oh, just like me. Weaponizing his inability, the helpless thrashing about. Oh, I simply can't hold back anymore. Baphomet, how are you helping me? Oh, do pardon the interruption. I was simply reminded by upper command, you could say, that we are to protect all humans. Baphomet, it's me. I'll get straight to the point. Our alliance with Mikhail and Amaterasu is suspended. We could not reach an agreement on the preconditions, so I'm now wholly devoting my efforts to protecting human life. However, I am among those being targeted, and though mine is a superior existence, there's a limit to how far that can take me. So I'd like to humbly ask you for your aid as well in upholding my ideals. Nothing would please me more than your support. Well, I guess the data connection's not interrupted from the giant meters. Oh no, giant woman. Having gone gigantic once more, Baphomet is able to make short work of the extra soldiers, utilizing the massive gulf and scale to simply blow them away. Protecting humans, but I may not actually be human, you know. Oh, I'm certain you are. Some may say otherwise, but I've come to the conclusion that you're most definitely a human being. There's a limit to what you can do, and you know so little about yourself that it makes you self-conscious for the future. If those aren't human traits, then what are? That's an embarrassing way to live, but no more so than my own, I'd wager. Confirming their suspicion, Baphomet sees that despite being strongly repelled, your opponents have taken no damage from their attacks. Well, you know, Baphomet's kind of a trash unit. The extra secret artifacts override the power of any rules on your side of the struggle. Right, doesn't he have like buff removal, and he also has like a way to have, what's called, surpass weapon resistance too. This means their entire fight really is a fool's errand. What point is there in perpetuating a battle one cannot win? Even if I can know what I'm attempting to do is impossible, I can't help but challenge it in any way, on principle. Even just saying that out loud is embarrassing. Oh well. Quite right, Baphomet, for a brighter future. Professor Youngpon, a self-professed superior being, always laughs as he says this. And eventually, after hearing it so many times, he found himself truly believing that there was nothing he couldn't do anymore. They were human all along. I mean, just because we're human doesn't mean we're native to this version of Earth. We're probably from some alternate version of Tokyo, like Real Life Tokyo or some shit. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the plot point you're gonna go for, but that is technically an overhanging plot detail with Chapter 12 is a revelation of, oh, you can pick your own name and gender or something. And your own appearance. Yet despite that, or perhaps because of it, he came to want to see humans have their turn as well. With so much they're incapable of, overcoming the odds. There he is. Found you! What's that weapon you've got? Is that from the little bit oratory? If you figured you'd survive. Or you remodel as well? Before I crush you, why don't you tell me where you got your upgrades? Is that Kokopelli? Why? Why would he be attacking them? Wait, are you his ally? You know about Kokopelli? Ooh, I just love a good villain role. My. Is it possible the system you spoke of before has some connection with the laboratory, Kokopelli? Baphomet. I did not expect to run into you here again. But I also don't see any reason for me to answer your question. The insectoid cyborg Kokopelli keeps his guard up despite the person he's addressing being the one who took him in for future transportation when he was found collapsed on the street. I suppose there isn't enough, though I do have a rather cheeky proposal for you. If you'll hear me out. Namely, I was hoping I might convince you to join us. Rippo's open. Did he actually activate Russian roulette each time? It's crazy. Come on, come on. Okay, whatever. I messed it up. Oh, they're fucking good. All right.
どうしたそんなに怯えて。かわいい、かわいい、かわいい。
The spacefaring soldiers' sacred artifacts all redirect their light onto Kokobelly. What is that noise? And with the target locked, they open fire. Yet somehow, Kokobelly remain unfazed and unharmed. I see. The rule is a debilitating sort, exciting gunpowder within the target to trigger self-destruction. Too bad for them. For my rule is not derived from gunpowder. Symphony of Destruction. Get fucked. Kokopelli's shot rings out majestically across the battlefield, and in the next moment, the ground opens up beneath his foes as if to swallow them whole. Attack falls outside of predicted parameters. Unable to evade. Was that one of ours? I believe everything you see can be found in the skies above this future city, Arthur. Baphomet points sharply upward toward an island floating in the heavens. I've been fully briefed on it, according to Professor Anion Capone. The island that floats above the future city is thought to be paradise. It's the promised land. Thereupon, one can find our guildmaster's research facility. Along with some of the trophy's friends, that being Mikhail and Amaterasu is doing, imagine. Likely to prevent them from running back to the trophy before they've been transplanted, and perhaps also to keep me in check. Oh wait, this is Onion Capone. What the heck? My bad. Likely to prevent them from running back to the trophy before they've been transplanted, and perhaps also to keep me in check. The two of them may have even pre-planned all this. If the trophy is brought into play, the administration is forced to stay in their hand, making the whole area a de facto safe zone. They can't afford to risk causing any harm to him now that his watcher is gone, after all. And of course, there's another factor at play here as well. The memory unit, King Solomon's terminal, is also kept there, specifically to lure the trophy out of hiding. Master! We have to go, little Salmon. I'm going ahead, everyone. Instantly flies upwards. Oh yeah, you're right, the island is there. Your destination is the island floating high above the future city. We should head there as well. Flight-capable transients, please lend us your aid. Although Sanzo and Toji have successfully liberated a number of Tokyoites and transients, there's still many have yet to be located. I like how the moment we found out we're just like, yeah, we're out of here. Later, Ravenruffer. We're dipping. And the one place left that hasn't been searched is the floating island, where Baphomet claims some members are being held. Maria and Gabriel thus instruct the others present to follow you there any way they can. Oh, Lord, look at that. Some angels that have not turned tailcoat. What's the expression? Turn tailcoat? Turncoat. Turncoat. Tail turncoat. I don't know. Even the guildmasters who've already been liberated set about heading back into the fray. Wait, I'm going. Is that what he said? I don't even know what he said. Oh, wait, am I going to? Humans are made for the fight, no! Either you, there will be resistance, no doubt, from the elite angels of Eden. As well as at least two of that world's four mighty archangels, Mikhail and Israfil. It's not unlike a repeat of the great war in the heavens that split the angels in twain. Alright, a very lengthy part 2. Already 1 hour and we're not even done. Okay, well. I figured it'd be this long, or something like that, because it is the final set of parts. Promised Land Part 3, yet another battle. It is going to be facing, presumably, Mikhail and Israfil, the Archangels of Eden. I don't know, I guess it would be nice if we had Jakob to help us, since he technically should be an Archangel, or have the powers of one too. But I guess we will not be bringing Yakov. Oh wait, no, he's there. Okay, so Yakov, no, not really Yakov, but more like Uriel, which is like, Uriel is the powers that Yakov summons, and Gabriel are the other two archangels. And let's call Disposo's here too for some reason. Who's huge? Who even knows why? No one's here is particularly good for helping Guillaume board wipe, I guess, but I guess we'll bring Gabriel. I think she bestows like that Scorpion or something like that. Maybe. Does she? She doesn't have her evos. Oh my god. She doesn't have her evos. Why is this game like this? I swear to god. Alright, what were the rewards for this? I didn't even notice. Whatever, we're doing out points. Long ago, a battle took place in Eden that divided its people between those who followed the system and those who followed an angel of the highest order named Shaitan. Shaitan rallied those whom the system deemed to be of low ranking, staging an uprising that was seen by many as an act of high treason. A number of influential angels joined the rebellion, such as Marchosias. But on the other side of the coin, standing in opposition, were the angels such as Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Israfil, who were so preeminent that all of Eden knew their names as well. Even among the archangels, however, there were some who felt Shaitan's uprising was bound to happen sooner or later, and accepted it for what it was. Shaitan's gaze was known to be intense, equally piercing anyone and everyone's upon whom it lingered, regardless of their position in hierarchy. Yet there was never any contempt behind it, never any judgment, and because Shaitan didn't look down on anyone, he was widely beloved by most, simply misunderstood by the rest. This is why so many low-ranking angels turned to him for a sympathetic ear, and why they, and he, were inspired to rebel once their grievances had been aired. At least, that's one school of thought on the matter. In truth, no one is quite certain exactly why Shaitan rose up. My interpretation of his motives is a bit different. Either way, it seems our guest has finally come. This is the island that floats above the future city, deemed a paradise by the transients of Eden. It also goes by the name Avalon. And you are fast approaching it, with the contingent of lesser beings and even some angels in tow. It truly does seem as though history is repeating itself. The similarities to the angels' uprising of Eden are striking. This Kafil seems almost overjoyed, however, changing his outfit as he observes the cataclysm spectacle playing out on the surface world below him. Israel, we have brought Arslan as you're instructed. Let go of me! Let go already! Much obliged. Next, you're to bide your time with those Tokyoites. What's the matter? Well, the situation on the surface has reached a boiling point. What will happen to us now? There's no need for such concern. Everything is proceeding according to the plan Mikhail and the others have envisioned. This attack from on high is targeting all representatives. This does include Mikhail himself, however, but nonetheless, the trophy will be arriving here shortly, and the attack cannot cause him any direct harm. Is this something Mikhail but not Amaterasu planned then? So I guess Amaterasu was just had the original plan in mind, was what's it called, brainwashing all the future memories into the Tokyoites in order to win the game, and that's why she's just subservient to it. But it seems Mikhail was the only one who thought a step above to lure out the Utopia world rep. The trophy will be arriving here shortly, and the attack cannot cause him any direct harm. Thus, with the orbital threat held at bay, we should have a little difficulty taking care of things on the ground. Yes, with Mikhail at the helm, this land is poised to become the most secure safe zone in the world for us. And the trophy who brings with him the incarnation of that accursed angel of angels, Shaitan. Indeed, which means we can put a stop to the trophy and Solomon's successor in one fell swoop. and claim victory in this game. It's an enticing prospect, don't you agree? Yes, of course! Thank you, Sakfil. We shall endeavor to work ever harder toward the realization to our goals. Oh, pity. You don't even understand what it is we're celebrating. So, shall we play the trumpet's call to signal the start of the show? Come, poor instruments! Cry out as loud as you can! You and your friends continue your flight to the paradise and in the sky amid a hail of falling stars. There, the fallen angel! The treasonous one, due only divine wrath. You will know our rage! All hands, to war! Seize him! So it's Mikhail's soldiers now, huh? What did I deserve to do such hatred? Well, whatever it was, I can't back down now. Behind you, catching up as best as you can, are the other members of the Mega Alliance of Guilds. Yo, this music though. This count on music. My lord, my dear Morningstar, please wait. I, Lucifuge, shall take point. This is the first time Lucifuge has been fucking relevant in like 10 million years. But I guess it makes sense. He's like one of the only ones who directly refers to Shaitan as his master. Yikes! MC's chance of winning are that of a fart in the wind. I can't believe I said that loud. Hello, Lynn. Engrave my name, that of demonic Prime Minister Lucifuge, of the land of Gehenna where the light doesn't reach, upon thee! Children of the darkness, I beseech thee, consume and emerge from thine womb, infernal misconception! He says while flying on his chair. Homunculi flow forth from Lucifuge's flask, beating the front line of angels head on. It is an honor and privilege to be a captain amongst our ranks and stand with you in this grand ballet. I shall keep the front guard busy so that you may go on ahead unobstructed, my dear Arthan. Thank you, Lucifuge. But why such devotion? You may never truly understand, but the long and short of it is, you have the same eyes of a certain someone I knew. Eyes that pierced my soul with their gaze, pierced all our souls equally. And that equity was my salvation for me and so many others. Was Lucifuge one of the defecting angels? For those of us who were cast down whence light shone deep into the earth, or who were born into the darkness. You were, and are, like the sun that brings us hope anew. Like this is what you really want? I just screwed up, I think. I told Baal he ranks first. The system of Solomon, no. I was never a part of that system. Yeah, I figured. He's not one of the Ars Goetia. It seems that he's just a follower of Lucifuge directly. Still, I truly don't believe in hierarchies. In this world, it's all plain for all to see. The affirmation he gave Baal means a lot to him, but to those outside of that system, it means nothing. I see. So it's only powerful when it comes to facing other Ars Goetia members. Myself included. To us from Gehenna. Wow, he's really yapping from this one side point we made. To us from Gehenna, your light is precious. More precious than anyone but we could ever know. And you look at me with eyes every bit as bright as those I remember. Oh, it makes me feel nostalgic and happy. But I'm prattling on, aren't I? Don't concern yourself too much with it. It's just a bit of sentimentality on my part. Alright, Lucifuge. Show us your devotion to Shaitan. Yes, this may be just how it was for those in the lower classes, but nothing particular to offer. The question is, how was it seen by those who were in positions that set them apart from the pack? You continue onward, your secret artifact rending the gravity all around you as you pass through the sea of falling stars. That's so cool how we're just like flying like with a sword. Oh my god, it's Mikhail, shit. Whoa. Incoming! Impressive! I suppose it's only fair to give credit where credit is due. Even a rotten flower still shows hints of bloom and spots. Mikhail seemingly was not expecting you to block his blink and you'll miss it offensive, and he pays you a wry, empty compliment to that effort. Mikhail, you need to step down! What you've done is unconscionable. There's no point in us fighting. So, you're still treating me the same as you would any rabble-razzle off the street, are you? Ooh, Jesus, we be flying! Oh shit! Jeez, we're flying around, we're fighting. You and Mikhail crossed swords with reckless abandon, moving every which way as you clashed in an environment free of gravity. You're doing well! It seems you at least remember how to use those wings that run gravity, if nothing else. Though you were born with them at your disposal, so it only stands to reason you have the muscle memory for it. If I'm family, then take it easy on me. There's so much you don't understand. Do you truly not remember? Let me be clear with you. I don't have a single thought to spare for your wishes. Do you not see what's happening, though? This is no time to be fighting. Oh, you really can't see the big picture here, can you? Oh, my apologies for laughing. It's just such an absurd situation. Everything is just as planned. The future transplanted Tokyoites, Salmon's memory unit, all of it, to lure you here. It's all been long gone to get those at the highest level of this game to reveal their hands. And you, brother, are the key to it all. You are the cog that drives the entire machine. Yo, Jackie-chun, welcome. Earthen. The voice comes from behind, and your companions in the Mega Alliance of Guilds finally catch up to you. But in that moment... Now then, I believe it's time for me to make my entrance. This field leaps from the very edge of the island. A look of pure ecstasy on his face as he hurtles towards you. Yo, the Archangels are fighting! The Goals are fighting! It pleases me to meet you on such a grand battlefield, Gabriel. Wait. Gabriel? Yes, Gabriel. Ah, and Jake Yakov, too. Tell me, are you still shaken in both mind and body from that glimpse he caught of our future memories? I would be ever so appreciative if he'd refrain from disrupting the fight between Mikhail and that interloper, though. Personally, I'm on the edge of my rhetorical seat to see which of them will fall first, or rather, which will fall at all. The entire reason I've come, in fact, was merely so I could bear witness to this momentous bout. Yeah, that is what this criminal does, he bears witness. Engrave my name of Mikhail onto thee! On the purification! Mikhail begins flying even faster than before, as if time itself is progressing at an accelerated rate. His wings call upon prevailing faith of Eden to ensure his movements are faster than those of anyone else in this world. And particularly, when he's unbound by the terrestrial limiter that is gravity, Mikhail is able to barrage you with attacks from above, below, left, right, and every other which way. Those are just too much for me. Since I'm all too kind, allow me to be the one to make you this offer, brother. Join us. Join our cause. We would welcome you. This is like the third time he's asking us to join him. He really wants us to join him. Well, I guess it is kind of sad in Mikhail's perspective, since we kind of just like betrayed the prevailing ruler of Eden without asking him if he wanted us to join him. Or if we wanted him to join us. If he would just accept the future transplant, he would surely come to see the truth that ours is the only path to victory. Mikhail's wings began to shine brighter still, and the intensity of his attacks increased even further to match. Are your friends really so dear? Or is it just that you met them first, and they're the ones you happen to form bonds with? Earthen. Oh, the tears just won't stop, will they? What's so funny about the two siblings fighting each other? You make a good point, Gabrielle. But then, you know well that I'm a bit of a deviant that way. A deviant who's unmoved by anything short of stealing the lead in hierarchy. It pleases me when I see someone fall to a lower position. You might say I'm a bit of a hopeless angel in that regard. None of that quite rings true to me, I'm afraid. I'm not surprised. I've led such a plain, ordinary existence after all. It's a bit sad that my own excitement is derived from climbing the hierarchical ladder or watching others fall from it. Perhaps I'm not worthy of being an angel. I'm no better than those lowly humans when you get right down to it. But that's just how it is. As long as there exists gulfs between us, there will always be a heaven and hell in this world. There's only one deviant worthy of being called a true angel, and both Eden and Gehenna. And if there was no above or below, no hierarchy with which to move past judgment, then all the world would quickly become hell. That's a lesson taught to me by the greatest deviant of them all. The one heroic angel named Shaitan. The structure of the game here in Tokyo is very reminiscent of that which defines our Eden and Gehenna. Our system gave birth to the idea of heaven and hell, above and below, and introduced the games through which to escape them. Everyone has struggled and sought to help, and begun striving to become better and more skilled at the game. But Shaitan, I think I didn't fully understand the hierarchy we created. He just couldn't wrap his head around it. And it stands to reason, why not? The direction in which the fruit of paradise falls us down, hellward. Yet how was Shaitan, unbound by gravity, to understand which way that even was? You object to that, don't you? You exhibit no preference towards those you've met first. He just keeps getting faster and faster, and not just his attacks, but his thoughts and his words as well. Mikhail! Shut your mouth! You don't sully my visage with those eyes! Ooh, Mikhail's mad.
Sa, いけない子供はどこかな?
はい。
欲望性。
はい。
ガチで決めるぜ。
はい。
フィニッシュ。欲望。
無様だね。
Oh, they're really nullify damage. Ooh, that's disgusting. I don't know about that. Laters. I should move everyone way out of the way from there. Oh, are they resistant skill lock? Shit.
欲望性。
無様だね。
ガチクソ。
Oh, is this survival? It is.
はい。
フィニッシュです。
We should probably move to the side.
アルス・パウリナが定める欲望性。
はい。無様だね。無様だね。
アルス・パウリナが欲望性。
はいはい。
晩年の計算終了。投稿します。
Punching one got so low health. Alright, I forgot to move.
無様だね。無様だね。
Punching long.
最低。
ここかな。
Alright.
農兵に大きな面をさせておく
Let's see what's
なよ。いつかは貴様がやるのだぞ、ひよっこ。
Mikhail, being less than 1,000 years old, was still considered fairly young by angel standards. Too young to be of fighting age, typically. Yet when the seat of the highest-ranked angel in the system of Eden came to be vacated, Mikhail was hurriedly made to be the hero to fill it. When Mikhail came to Tokyo, however, he didn't have a pillar of his own from the world of Eden. So each time the loop resets, his memories reset as well, back to the clean slate from when he first transferred to this world. He thus winds up going in blind and acquiring memories from those he chooses to ally with. Those memories, then, always feel fresh to him, as he begins each loop with no chronological frame of reference, feeling as though his separation from his brother had only just occurred. Okay, I can see why Amaterasu is a bit more muted, but Mikhail is like a raging fireball when he sees us. And so I came to carry on my brother's legacy. The problem is, I could never truly match it. No one could. The only reason I was chosen as successor was due to birthright, as I was the younger sibling. Beyond that, I had nothing else to offer. I knew well how those eyes saw no hierarchical rankings and treated everyone as equal, but I also knew that wouldn't make a difference. I was just the little brother, nothing more. I had no value to offer beyond knowing it first. Is this land really so important? More important than any paradise? Than any pleasure garden? Kyle, don't fully understand, but... You're not even certain if Mikhail can hear you over his own screeching proclamations with his accelerated time frame. I guess Mikhail has also never really grasped that we forget memories every loop. I mean, he might know it factually, but not experientially, so he'll still take out his memories fully honest. Oh, my shining falling star. Permit me to say this without shame or hesitation. Lucifuge smiles widely despite falling back to Earth after being overwhelmed by the sheer number of angels he faced. Wherever you may be, that is paradise in my eyes. Ah, till help do us part. Israel, I've come here after a long journey. I've trekked through countless lands and overcome many battles along the way. The same must be true of you as well, Gabriel, and you, Maria, and all of you. Everyone has come a long way to be here. Jakob. Yeah, that's exactly right. And the reason for that is because we want to show this land how much it's loved. No matter how many times we may falter, we'll always proclaim our love for it in the end, loud and proud. So that the others may know love is here, and has always been here. Engrave my name of Gabriel onto thee! Please, everyone, don't lose hope! Gloria in Excelsis! Engrave my name of Yakov onto thee, and thy name of my friend Uhil as well. Blade of the Cherubim. Mikhail, along with everyone else on the battlefield, has shown visions of what once was. Is this his first time seeing visions in this loop? Of previous loops? We had a summer episode, not disclosed, with Michael. When was this? Was this during the Summer Pool Twilight or something? Happiness from bygone time. Joy from the past. Ooh, this is the first time we're kind of weaponizing memories on the enemy. They spent with you in this world that have heretofore been sadly forgotten. Ugh. Brother. Why? Why did you never invite me to come by your side? Why was I not the first person you asked? Mikhail mutters silently to himself. He says that as long as he could have been with you, he wouldn't have minded being a demon. He would have welcomed the fall from grace. That simply being by your side would make heaven out of hell. Oh, that's actually extra sad, given we just heard Lucifuge completely agree with that sentiment, and we saw his undying faithfulness. But instead, Mikhail was caught on the other side of the coin where we left him behind. That's fucked. Okay, I sort of get why Mikhail is so pissed at us. Like, when other people who are not your family is like going along and living by your side, and then the one person who idolizes you most about the family, you're just like, yeah, no, we'll leave you unread. That's fucked. Yeah, that's why Michael asked him to join some time. Now I'm sympathizing with Michael. Oh, that's so sad. Oh my god. And especially since he didn't have his memories, right? So it's like he has no way to like calm down and put perspective over these many loops. He's much like the MC in that respect. Except, actually, we had more memories than Mikhail at that point because we got as a thoughts memories, so it's kind of fucked. So this should be the last part, Prophets of the Future City. So with that said, we'll read the quest details later. And I will reward you all with a 5-minute break. And by rewarding you, I mean rewarding myself. So I will see you guys soon. Go ahead and use the washroom, get a snack, do whatever you want. And yeah, we'll finally finish chapter 15 in 5 minutes. Catch you soon, cuties. Okay, I'm back. Let me read the chat a bit if there's anything I missed. Roommakers probably spoon-fed him memories. I don't think they spoon-fed him enemy memories. It seems more likely that they kind of just, what's it called, told him selectively what was relevant. But yeah. What do you think of that title, A Demon Dragon of Destruction? It's very edgy. What the heck? Anyway, before we proceed, let's go ahead and check out this new job quest, the Seal Farm. Ooh, I finally have a Seal Farm after 10 million years, even though everyone has a better one now. To my understanding, the new one from Chapter 16 is actually better. But let's go ahead and see this. I don't know how much team building is. 3 tall maps, really. All these are tall maps. That's very bizarre. And kind of underwhelming. Anyway, let's see what mechanics are, because this is miraculously a farm that I've not been spoiled what the mechanics are whatsoever. If there are any. Maybe that's why I wasn't told it. Alright, what should we do for this? If it's a seal farm, what do people usually bring? Seal booster for... There we are. And I think I made an emergency seal farm team over here somewhere. Probably fine. Why is the fuck? Why is that Qinglong holding the level up thing? Let's go give this to you instead. And as for the other equip, I believe it's on Thrust and Magic units, so we'll go ahead and slap him dead, and then he should be able to equip this one. Okay, let's go check this out.
そうだね、アリス。さあ、奥保。やあ。ガチで決める。
Do they have mechanics? Do they have mechanics? They do not have mechanics so far. All right.
アルスパウリナ奥防星。ガチで決めるぜ。
No mechanics. Not even from Amaterasu, or Amati, as they say.
アルスパウリナが定める奥防星。
Wow, people really had this farm for what's it called? A whole year? This is a whole lot of nothing, isn't it? Oh my gosh, they're actually quite strong. Oh right, because they resist the divine.
You got well,
I guess this farm didn't exist before Housamo.
東京に集いし、名優たちよ。
That was definitely a quest. Anyway, let's finally see what False Prophets of the Future City Part 1 is all about. It is a large map. Yeah, apparently we only get 2 of the mobs, and we still don't have the other missing mob as well as the other Starman. Yeah, how unfortunate. 2 of them out of 200, yeah. So we are going to be facing Mikhail as well as Amaterasu. Amaterasu's here, that's strange. I guess she's just like chilling in the upper city maybe. I actually don't know where she is. She's supposed to be down low in the Laporte, isn't she? And the cutie mobs are back. It rewards coin, but we'll see if it has any ally or support. They're okay. Oh wait, it has near laptop tip. That's cool. Why did it took him a long enough time to show up? Jeez. However, I will be moving Sanzo instead, so or rather, I will be moving Kyoma instead. Now that we can actually reposition these bozos, though, let's go ahead and pick our ally pointing. Not that one. This one. And he should get his amp in, based on this team order. Maybe. Maybe. That's probably fine. Alright, let's do this. He lived in a state of twilight, where light and shadow intersect. He always believed that if he couldn't accomplish anything, then he had no right to remain in that house. He feared not being loved by the world, as his parents could never truly love him due to his half-ogre side. I guess times have been changing. How old is Toji? Jesus Christ. But the times change rapidly, and soon enough, humans and ogres could walk side by side down the street without judgment. Yet still, he felt as though he was being left behind. I mean, I guess everyone's similar to our age, but like, Toji must be like 5 tojillion years old. Never sure if he was a human or ogre, he was ashamed of himself and remained ashamed to this day of how out of touch he is with the world around him. All he ever wanted was to be someone who could make a difference, to contribute something to this world. It embarrassed him to think he had nothing. He always felt that there was somewhere else he should be, some other path he should follow. But he didn't know where that was, nor even where to look. He felt he would never know until he got there. Yet after school, spending time with you, he found it. Somehow, in spite of all of how little he felt he had to offer, he had found his promised land. That he moved away from in Halloween Police. But that was a blip in the long life he's led, somewhere in the interval between child and adult. Yet it resonated with him like no other point in time ever has. From that point forth, no matter how many moments had passed, no matter how his living conditions may have changed, he would always remember that you saw him for who he was, and you accepted him. He would blush like a little child. Even what was awaited his henceforth was nothing short of hell. There was no doubt in his mind that this was ultimately his paradise. That's so sad. They keep on saying that everyone is in paradise with us, in hell. Meanwhile, Nikai's just like, bruh. Literally, bruh. Her alliance was and upon severed. Amaterasu has little choice but to change plans. She's no longer able to lead the greater plan of the rulemaker's soldiers, since she's lost the majority standing within the guild. Is this the same as the option I chose before? Back in my homeland? Amaterasu has a clear image in mind of who was likely responsible for taking such measures. I'm still not entirely sure what Daikoku accomplished. I guess it must have been straight up to fracture Onyankopon to break away from this alliance, but it's not entirely clear how. Maybe Daikoku told him about the people in the Promised Land. And this is a message to myself to remind me of what I know. But it doesn't change what must be done. I must act in accordance with the standing I was gifted at birth. Mikael! Court recorder. World Representative Kamui-Kotan is left breathless as he gazes up at the entire situation playing out around Mikael. His opinion over his former ally has more or less frozen over at this point. But he also realizes the error of his ways in making a hero out of someone so small and insignificant to begin with. Perhaps it might be time to forgive him for his transgressions, knowing that he was merely lashing out. Too bad Kotkokuru is unable to see himself in the same light. Safety is off! Lock and load! Polar bears, big dogs, and wildcats! Give it everything you've got! Fire! Ah! A real battlefield! I'm so scared. Papa. Mama! Won't you come save me? No? Willie, you can do this. You graduated from the academy. It's time to become an adult. I'm not ready to be an adult. It's only my body that's all grown up. My heart isn't there yet. Correction. Why are you like this out? Every single fucking stream I started to coddle it. I don't get any scent of spilled blood on his hands. Is he a new recruit? Hey, you there. Modified guy. This here first rodeo. Without missing a beat in his own fight, Kokopelli calls out to one of the enemy soldiers who's caught his attention. And what if it is? If you make fun of my wildcat units, you'll be sorry. Let me just tell you something. Where is your mothership located? I want the most recent coordinates you've got. If we were gonna be teleported there, we should have just waited for Niall to do that, rather than flying there. With considerable support from Maria, Yuma, and the others, he finally arrived at the floating island of the future city. Smack dab in the very center of it sits a massive building that towers over its surroundings, like a monolith. Oh, I guess the fight with Mikhail was over, he kind of just like collapsed after receiving those memories. Oh, he chased after us. Never mind. And between you and it, Mikhail descends, blocking the way for you and your guild alliance. This tells you that everything you seek must surely lie within that massive building. Tango and the others are in there, and Mr. Melanobe, I'm sure of it. Frustrating. All this acceleration has left me in shambles. Mikhail. Live right there? You're not going anywhere. Unfortunately, you missed whatever slim chance you may have had, as Amaterasu and her troops now stand between you and the monolithic building. Amaterasu. Mikhail, are you injured? Does it hurt anywhere? Amaterasu approaches Mikhail, who's fallen to his knees and is breathing heavily. She gently, concernedly addresses him. Still playing the sisterly role, are you, Amaterasu? Stop treating me like your little brother, like a rank amateur. As you wish. All I've ever been able to give you is sadness, after all. Not in the best terms, are they? Maybe that can be exploited to get by. Amaterasu lets out a small sigh, and steps out in front of Mikhail and lets the light from her halo shines forth. My eyes! I can't even make out her face anymore. You need to know your limits and quit all your head, Arathan. There's nothing to be gained from this. I could say the same to you. You don't need to stop lecturing me. You don't understand anything, do you? Same as ever. Well, that's just fine, as I can always refresh your memory. I can remind you of just how egregious the errors in judgment are that you've made in previous loops. And how much better life would have been for you if you just listened to me and done as I said. Alongside her mirrored halo, Amaterasu calls forth her other sacred artifact from deep within the ground, Iwato, the boulder door. That sound effect. What's going on? Visions of the past flit through the air in waves, infiltrating your mind in form of memories. Is this a new memory animation? We never had this animation before, but I guess this is a good way to depict it moving forward. Besties! It's me? Did I ever play with this person like that before, though? Oh, wait. Yeah, that's right. Amaterasu always gave us advice and always came to our rescue in times of our need. So why am I doing things that make her sad? Ah, that's not cool. Well, I should apologize right away and try to make up to her. Long-forgotten memories of past loops flood into the heads of everyone present. They alter your perception of reality, blurring the lines between present and past and shifting your way of thinking bit by bit. Sanzo, don't fall for it. Those memories are being weaponized, just like with Azazoth. But these are nothing like the memories from that imperfect, broken world pillar, Azazoth. I can never forget the shameful sins you've all committed in previous loops. This infinite mirror is like the sun, shining a light on every last transgression you've all made. It's an attack that will spread out in all directions, and there's no escape from it. It will haunt you till you're through. Oh my gosh, English, please. Amaterasu's light illuminates every part of each of you, laying bare every flaw, every hidden shame that you'd hoped would never be seen. You'll be held captive by this light until you come to believe, of your own volition, that you're better off doing as I say. The world pillar of Earth is designed to make those subjected to it submit to the will of the bear through the remorse for actions from past loops. However, right, we know all about remorse from past loops, don't we? I'm sorry to tell you this, Amaterasu, but this attack of yours will no longer have any effect on us. Toji, remember that no matter how bright or strong a ruler's light may be, a shadow is always cast at their feet. Even in the Tokugawa era, eternal in spirit, they'll parade creeping shadows brought about by simple mistakes. So never forget to look down and sever that which is underfoot, where the line of sight would not typically fall. Toji swings the cursed twin blades and cuts the past memories generated by the world pillar right out of the air. No! The memories, is that what she said? Yeah. And the light that spotted them vanished from sight, clearing your field of vision and revealing Amaterasu standing directly in front of you. You're finally able to get a good look at Amaterasu from the same level as her, without her hail obstructing the view, and you find yourself staring deeply into her eyes. Stop. Look away! Don't look at me with those eyes. They're the same. Please, don't look at me. I'm your sister! Amaterasu staggers into place, a bit in vain effort to dodge your gaze, seemingly frightened of something within you. You get the distinct impression that what she's actually scared of is a reflection of herself that she sees in your eyes. Mari. Uzume stands in the shaking, burning ruins of the future city, staring up at the sky and silently muttering her friend's name. I always knew. Because, I've always been watching Amari, you know? Amaterasu is at the core of the mutual observation system of Takalagahara, representing light that illuminates the entire world back to its very beginning. Yet no one was ever able to see. Wait, never mind. She would call her Amari. Yet no one was able to ever see Amaterasu's mistakes, flaws, or shameful moments, even as everyone else were laid before bare. That is no one except the shameless little brother, Susano. Oh, I see. No one could stare at because of her sunlight. Everyone, listen up! You proceed to coordinate your efforts with other members of the Mega Alliance of Guilds, ensuring everyone is on the same page. First, you and Toji will suppress any and all advances from Amaterasu and Mikhail. Then while they're kept busy, Sanzo will use his future transplant rejection to snap the others out of the trances, find Mr. Mononobe's memory unit, and hightail it out of there using Neil's teleportation. Come on out, Lil Salmon! It's time to do our thing! The twin blades of the Wanderer from two different worlds began to spark, and call upon the power of an exception that doesn't abide by any hierarchy. So we say, but we're not gonna fight them as that. Okay, it seems to be a battle, and we're going to do this thing. The memory of the oath made on that day with the Susanoo still lingers. The day I took his iron sword, held it in my mouth, tore it apart, and gave birth to a child. What? 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 Yes, I bore a child with Susanoo. Though the method of conception differs from what humans understand of reproduction. The little one watched me back then, endlessly, shamelessly, without ever missing a beat, and it wasn't with the eyes of a sibling. In a way, it was as though I saw a mirror image of my own shameful gaze, for I was watching Susanoo just as intently. Okay, so, not that kind of make a child. I still remember how useless I felt back then. It's a sad memories I can never forget. I was tasked with promulgating the system of my ancient homeland, and yet, so ashamed was I of my inadequacy that I would always go off on my own and cry. Yet somehow my little brother, Susanoo, would always show up as I did, so... I always thought my shameless little brother would be able to fulfill my role so much better than I. That he would be so much more fit to be a god. I knew it was impossible, but I wanted more than anything for the two of us to change places. If I were just more like you, little brother, I'm certain things could have been better for me. Hey, Amadi, did you know? I've always wanted to be just like you. Always meeting everyone's expectations. A model student in everyone's eyes. Not to mention cuter than me, and bad at lying. And that's it. Standing before you are the two mighty world representatives who rule over the heavens. You stand in your way again, and upon your front line, leaping to battle, are the now exhausted old ones, transients who constitute the multi-extent being your Nyarlathotep. Wait, hold up, new elves. What happened to the plan? Am I being betrayed after all? You're calling us useless? Yeah, we can't do anything. In fact, this is true. Nyarlathotep is a being who can't actually accomplish much, existing solely to clown around and poke fun at others. Born to fill in that which the blind idiot god Azasoth lacks and help him stave off his boredom. However, we are Nyarlathotep. What we can't do, we can do. Mikhail is faster than anyone else, but as a consequence, he must also endure the greatest possible recoil. Amaterasu, meanwhile, can see more than anyone else, but this means she sees everything, including that which she might prefer not to. You want to return in kind what we got back then? Give him a belly full of our inabilities. A helping of mission powerlessness, all for ya! Gone home, but never forget the love, the fun, the party, and bullshit! Ooh, they're coming! 999 old one lackeys appear before Mikhail and Amaterasu. There's no rhyme or reason for their appearance. They're just suddenly there. This is followed up by the Nyarlathoteps all suddenly shattering into tiny pieces. Also with no rhyme or reason. Mikhail clashes with him at the greatest possible speed, but then stumbles back as though he's been hit by the world's fastest bullet. Amaterasu, meanwhile, is able to see through anything and everything that exists, but her sight cannot penetrate that which never existed in the first place. 0-0 after all, and this inundation of nonsense splits her concentration so much that she's delayed just a bit in calculating her next move. It's just a momentary bluff, a meaningless diversion. That's all Nyarlathotep can do, but it's enough. That's great, Nyarls. Come on, Toji, let's go! Double Dragon! In one hand, you hold a shine that separates you from gravity, and in the other, a shine that separates you from the world. The Shrine of Substitution, however, is the one and only existence the world representative who illuminates the heavens. From end to end, you should not be able to see. That which deviates from the rules given by others. That which takes point upon a journey to the edge of the world from which none may escape. The worm and wanderer's boundless tale takes off from this predetermined future. Yeah. Yontoji execute a perfect cross slash on both Mikhail and Amaterasu in not one singular moment. You can get everything you've got, both got. Yeah! As a two stagger, Sanzo rushes in, script is in hand. One by one, the captured Tokyoids come into contact with the sacred artifact and are freed from the spell. Yontoji come into contact with Nyarlathotep, Mikhail, and Amaterasu. Got back just in time? I think you missed quite a bit, but... well, it seems that something's happening here. As Sanzo and another Nyarlathotep come into contact with Shiro, Kengo, Ryota, and Arsalan, all this happens in a blink of an eye, and when the dust settles, actually... that's a very specific sound effect. That's the exception sound effect, isn't it? What's happening? The shaking! No, it can't be. Is the floating island expanding? Uh-oh. It is an exception. Yo. Sanzo's sacred artifact must have collided with something, but I'm not sure what. 10 sacred artifacts. The 10 sacred artifacts collectively held in your hands suddenly become connected to one another through a path of light. The light of their 10 rules binds them, expanding to envelop the entirety of the future city in a canopy shaped like a giant tree. No, an exception? And you? Why now, of all times? He's pretty cute, though he's kind of giving, mobile Clash game. A tree-shaped chain exception comprised of the ancient wisdom of Solomon, born through the combination of these 10 rules. Which 10 rules? Is he talking about, like, Ryota, Kengo, and etc.? The bonds formed by the hexagram of the battle zone in King Eden and Takamagahara, created during King Solomon's journey east. 2 pillars that were erected in Solomon's temple, and one that was not, the pillar of rigor, affection, and equilibrium, respectively. One central pillar comprised of 3, known unto the angels of Eden by the following name. The world exception, Sephiroth. 10 beams of light signifying the human's path to godhood. The world pillar of the trilemma. Welcome. We recognize you as the final lead role in this game, Marathon. I hereby rename the expected feature for humankind and declare the activation of the System of Tokyo. The System of Tokyo. I'm gonna need an explanation for that. Seems like Sanzo's artifact, not specifically his, but in combination with a bunch of other artifacts, seems to have caused this exception. Which is something in relation to Solomon's powers. False Prophets of the Future City 2, a large map, and we are facing Sephiroth as well as 2 divine beings. Presumably going to be Kern as well as MX, what was it called? MSC1, MX something, Master Mother? Yeah, MX other something C1. And a bunch of missing units again. Oh, interesting. So these guys are from the future most likely. There is a coin reward, but we will go ahead and pick whoever is featured. Amaterasu is teaming up with us. You never think you'd see the day where this bitch of the 2 bitches decide to finally join us. In Japanese, she said System Tokyo. Not sure why they added the of. I mean, it could be the System Tokyo. Anywho, let us go ahead and see the battle pursue itself, and roll out rather. Sorry, English is failing me a lot. Yeah, we're at part 2 of the story right now, or part 2 of the very final episode. When I exiled my shameless brother Housamo, the palace where I lived became very quiet and remained that way. And I was able to continue shining my light upon Takamagahara from one end to the other as ruler of all the world's daylight. I was glad Tsukiyomi had been chosen as the ruler of night, because every time I saw his face, I couldn't help but be reminded of Susanoo. If Eden's system governs guilt and sin, then Takamagahara's governs shame. The sole difference lies in whether one sees sin through the god within the self, or sees shame through the god within the other, within Amaterasu. So they did talk about the system of Takamagahara a few times, but only explicitly in relation to shame when it came to virtual summer memory, I believe. And as shame goes, that of her little brother, Susanoo, would of course need to be driven from this world. Thus, he was banished as a heretic. He was as any good leader should have done. But what of Amaterasu? Who would bring her sins to light now? Who even could? Who would stand up and point out that it was not solely for the good of the world that Susanoo was exiled? Who but she herself could stand up and tell Amaterasu that she, too, was a sinner? She's shown many a light upon many a shameful episodes as a leader and as the highest rung in the world's hierarchy. But in many cases, shame was the only option. There was no way out for those being judged. Yet she continued to pass judgment upon them anyway. Such was a burden of being in charge. It's a universal truth for any world in any era. And no matter what they may do, the world representatives cannot amount to anything in this world system if the system does not operate on the principle of majority rule. By that token, neither world representatives nor the exiles could ever change their position in hierarchy. They are alone in a closed world. The difference between them lies in the fact that one is permitted solely to remain, while the other is permitted solely to depart. And when Susanoo departed the world, there was no one left to give Amaterasu the time of day anymore. But just once more, she wished she could reunite with Susanoo. And that's when the light shone at her feet, and she crossed the Rainbow Bridge into Tokyo. That is the limit of individual judgment, and it is only by overcoming it that the system of the future can emerge. But fear not, world representatives. Despite your misgivings, I assure you the future we offer will bring you relief. Right. Yet again, for the third time, it seems upon like the layers upon the layers upon the layers of schemes across the world representatives of each of the 3 true guilds, it seems that the biggest overhanging scheme of everyone is going to be the guild master, aka the true genius. That was the case for Bertro when he just wanted to like blow everything up, see the moon explode, and technically he succeeded just to see that outcome. And then that also happened for Isaac, where he like pulled the wool over a bunch of people just so that he could, you know, control everyone through this like flipping the he like flipped something such that everyone would die simultaneously and then join the singularity. And it seems Kern's doing something similar. That's an exception. It's like a giant tree, but alive, and it's absolutely massive. Look at the size of that cock. Who summoned Sephiroth onto this world? Was it an archangel of storied history with a familiar visage? Then this place. I see. This must be the Lord of Nod, outside the paradise spoken by our creator. The exception observes you closely and begins speaking terms you don't understand at all. What is it trying to say? Huh? What are you even trying to say? Have you forgotten? In the ancient covenant forged between the Creator and humanity, it is spoken thus of the feuding siblings. The exception, despite being almost inconceivably massive in scale, answers Sanzo's question in a calm voice with a decidedly learned tone. The two shall come at odds, and the one who bears sin shall come to the land of Nod, east of Eden, where the tree of life grows. I've never heard of this creature before in Christian mythology. Is this supposed to be a Christian exception? Sorry, not Christian, but rather monotheistic, Abrahamic exception. The land of Nod, or the land of nomads, is a haven for those who live in exile. After much toil, nomadic exiles came to erect a large city in the east. And to them, the Creator said, Thou shalt rule over sin, over ignorance. Thou shalt. It is the concept of Timshol. I do not understand these terms. Ugh. Oh, he's wilded. There you go. Exceptions are generally insane and wilded, except in a rare case when they're in some local location that is closed off. The power of 10 conflicting rules all clash within the exception, rapidly eroding its grip on sanity. It begins devouring all that it sees, then becomes those things and multiplies. The ground fiercely shakes, and Sanzo, already exhausted beyond his breaking point, succumbs to the motion and tumbles forward. My legs! I can't find my footing! Or like a Jewish mysticism thing? Interesting. I do want to look it up. Hopefully I remember to look it up after stream, but we'll see. Where am I? It's like dark as anything here. Is he inside? Sanzo? Where'd he go? Did he run off on his own? I have just one last thing to say. Even if you are completely unable to comprehend my words, it makes no difference to me. For we've already determined that every single person in Tokyo is, by definition, all measure, guilty of sin. Well, so much for making everyone divine beings. At this time, we consider our personalized research into the extreme situation faced by the locals of the city complete. Our conclusion is as follows. Without a stable majority, any system, any world, is likely unto hell itself. This elevates the suitability of our Plan C over that of Plans A and B, clearly making it the optimal solution. Initially, this research topic was proposed by the latest model cyborg himself, Kokopelli. Now then, shall we get started? Curran, you're copying someone else's homework here. Plan C, and we're like, bad copyright infringement. Kunzo! Kuma! You're awake! Are you two okay? Daisuke calls out to his two engineers, who are only now regaining consciousness after being knocked out by the recoil from Sanzo's secret artifacts, severance of the future transment. The future... It's coming! Both of those students seem to have the highest possible affinity for the acceleration procedure, seem to be especially affected by their experiences with it. The utopian cyborgs all simultaneously raise their heads up to the heavens, focusing their attention squarely on the signally divine presence that now dominates their view. There's no way! That's what I've been chasing after all this time! Far, far above your heads, above even the skies that hang over the future city, a mysterious and almost majestic something begins to take shape. What in the world is that? I can sense that something is there, but I can neither see it nor properly intuit its form. Whatever it is, it definitely exists in that space, yet it's as though it's making, it's being blurred or redacted in real time, making it impossible for Toji and the others to properly perceive it. Can't really make it either. There's no detail, tangible form. Just like that taboo. It's only natural. This is the very first and very last thing future humans will create. Something superhuman yet inhuman. Present humans with a limited awareness and intelligence physically cannot comprehend the true scale of its majesty. Very old ones. Something so massive you cannot comprehend it. Gotta love oddly rival explaining things. Sephiroth means emanations. It's a diagram that shows how God interacts with the world. Really? Fascinating. So it's more like a, I guess, a system than it is an entity. What is that thing? That's a good question. It seems to be an invention of humanity, though. Arthur! Oh, jump scare. Jeez. The ever-expanding Sephiroth root swallows Zero and the others whole, growing larger and larger with each present it imbibes. No! They're being sold up. Long time no see trophy. Or, no, I suppose I shouldn't call you that, should I? I'll call you by the name instead, as that is more appropriate. At long last, I've come to pick you up, Arathan. And take me where? I am one of the 3 child prodigies alongside Isaac and Bertro, the executor of Plan C. You may call me Curran. Please do permit me to welcome you once more, now that Utopia's world representative has appeared on the scene. Utopia's world representative? Where? Oh, you don't mean that robot? Somewhat yes, and somewhat no. This is my elder brother. Yeah, I was wondering, because, like, how is Curran Divine type, and also, why would Curran be the top of all these plans if not for actually being, you know, the world rep of Utopia? There seems to be a lot of connections between Curran and Utopia. He was in charge of Plan C before I, seeking to guide human on the proper path, wholly dedicated to the future in body and soul. Now, should anyone be regarded as Utopia's world representative, it could only be that which you perceive in the heavens above. You're telling me it's not a thing, but a giant orb? Curran points out at the vaguely spherical being floating above your head. That is the god of the future. The being we call MX Mother. Ooh. So that's the connection between Curran and the Utopian entity. What was it short form again? MX Mother... C1. I think it was just like... I guess it's just like a direct progeny of it then. MX Other. M and Other? So... Other? As humanity continued to evolve its capabilities into the future, that being known as MX Mother was born. And when they came to realize she could not imagine possibilities they could not, they willfully relinquished their seat to her. I can see why this is the world rep of Utopia. This is the manifestation of all future utopic sci-fi novels. An entity so intelligent that, like, you can't even grasp it around. The complete surrendering of your own personal autonomy and giving it to technology. For a new kind of god was needed in low of the system that saw this world driven by individual rules and roles. Something to replace individual rules and roles. A suitable candidate for future transportation was sought. One who was not limited to the individual, but contained multitudes. Only by restoring that... MX... You guys really want me to say Mother X? Is there a difference? Like, is that like a substantial thing to say rather than MX Mother? Only by restoring that which was lost could this new type of god finally take shape. So that's it after all, is it? Say nothing, but take a divine stance. I'm impressed you could grasp anything at all from my words, but grateful since my conscience is that of a prodigy as well. Now then, let's close the discussion here. When next we meet, it will be far, far in the future. Corinne's robot stretches its massive hand toward you as if to pluck you from where you stand and take you away. Stop! Do not you do not dare lay a hand on Aerithon. Uh-oh. What? I can't move? Toji! Are the rest of you also? Was this the MF who knocked out Toji in the Punky Dungeon Memories? Was Toji knocked out in the memories? I don't even remember. The robot swings its clock hand like a sickle, manifesting the time-traveling powers of the world of Utopia. You see, so this is essentially, it is the world rep, but it's also more like a progenitor of the world rep. Within the hyper-accelerated vortex of time this creates, you feel as though you're trapped, frozen in time. It's going to grab me. Is there nothing I can do to stop it? Ouch! That really smarts. Wait. What's going on? Seems like Aerithon and the others are deep in trouble. Sansa pulls himself to his feet with the help of some solid mass nearby, looks your way, and cries out. He doesn't seem to realize, however, that he's inside the trunk of the Sephiroth, and even propped himself up on one of its knots just now. Sanzo! Why are you there? You're inside the exception! Change of plans. That man is the greatest risk factor, and should be restrained immediately. Priority 1. Curran makes use of her ultra-high-speed predictive capabilities to reassess the dangers posed, and turns her attention squarely towards Sanzo. Sanzo's sacred artifact potentially holds the power to reject this exception, which could reverse every last bit of progress she's made if the threat is not quickly neutralized. I still don't understand how this exception is made. I thought it was Sanzo who made it. Well, I guess if he did make it, then I suppose it's true that he is a source to stop it as well. Via a contract or some sort of hierarchy being established. Why is she headed towards me now? How do I keep getting myself into these kind of situations? Sansa begins running about in panic, crying the whole way, as he's relentlessly pursued through Sephiroth's tangled network of routes. Pursuing him through this mess of branches is easier said than done, however, due to the sheer girth of Curran's robot. Is he purposely playing decoy? Is that why he ran off before too? Sanzo, I'll never forget you. Well, let's get out of here. Although hunting Sanzo isn't particularly time-consuming, it does mean Curran has taken her eyes off her true enemy, if only for a moment. And this leaves an opening. So the guise is dropped then, and the curtain is raised on Utopia's role representative and administrator. Yeah, that is a huge conflict of interest. A world rep being part of the Game Masters and also being one of the street geniuses. I guess that was the trick of the hat there in terms of why they were allowed to be Game Masters before, because they're powerless. They weren't world reps, but yeah, Curran is not so much. At least not with her partnership with Sephiroth or Mother X. Hey, you made it back to life. Welcome back to regular speed as you knew. I hope you enjoyed that futuristic utopian technology helping you speed through things quickly. But now we broadcast you live in regular speed. Mikhail and Amaterasu appear on the scene, defiantly interfering with the chase by knocking away the giant robot's hand. Huh? Did those two just cover for me? Ugh, all that grandiose talk about your master plan, spoken so passionately and so pompously. Was this what you had in mind? It's clear now that the player known as Mother X was covertly acting on behalf of the game's administration this whole time. Which means you could snatch the trophy away from everyone else. But did you really think we'd overlook that? The Sephiroth exception extends its roots to cover the entirety of the future city at a speed beyond human comprehension. And alongside those roots, soldiers from the future world of Utopia, known as the Missing, suddenly reveal themselves as well. Sephiroth doesn't seem to be the future. That's more like Overlord Zeal, so it's a bit peculiar that the Missing are being summoned through Sephiroth's power instead. The missing are strong. Strong enough that they should be able to easily gain control over every app user. Yeah, if anyone has a proper explanation over Sephiroth in chat, I would love to hear it. And they know they're strong. They feel their own overwhelming, seemingly limitless might and bask in it. I know what's called Audi gave me a bit of an explanation, but I want more. More explanation. Still doesn't make sense to me. Yeah, that's all they can boast of. They've lost everything else about themselves. I'm finally starting to see what Moritaka was speaking of. That is our future. If we continue down this path, that's what it will become. Michi. Moritaka had only just recently filled in Nobumichi on the things he and his allies had seen. I'd heard about this from my father, Yatsuhusa, who is not bound to me by blood. It's about my mother, Husahime. Husahime? I thought it was Husahime. Am I hallucinating? Was it always Sahime? Maybe it's not important. In an era where humans and Therians did not interact, a different sort of connection took place. A spiritual conception. Wait. Spiritual conception. They're talking about the pregnancy of the 8 Dog Warriors. And from it, these orbs, the sacred artifacts representing the 8 Dog Warriors, came to be. Those two left them for us to serve almost as extensions of our bodies. Aren't the Sephiroth called this Tree of Life? I suppose. I still don't understand how the exception was even made in the first place. It seems Sanzo is the root of it, though. But Yatsufusa, my soul father, always said that I never understood how my mother truly felt. Much like how Masashi Shimi Inoue has never able to get any answers from her, no matter how often he poses his questions. Yet according to Yatsufusa, that's okay. There's no shame in it, even if it feels like there is. Moritaka shared his own theories as to what Yatsufusa wished to convey to us Dog Warriors. I don't know who he's talking with right now. They've come from an era when love between humans and Therians was not permitted. We came to Tokyo from a time of endless wars. Her name is Fusahime? What the heck? Has it always been that? What is this fucking Berenstain Bears effect all over again? I've jumped to a different timeline. What we found is a virtual paradise where anyone is free to love anyone else. The only thing you can't do is force someone else to love you back. Unless you're Shinya. And that's how it should be. I regret that I could not be raised in such an environment myself. But if I were, this love would be something else entirely. Not my own anymore. We are not made up solely of things we're capable of. We mustn't turn a blind eye to the things we can't do. The Mandela effect, that's it, yeah. I swear to God, these terms always escape me. Do you remember what our father once said? How we lived our lives should not be dictated by presence or lack of opposition. Karen, I understand what it means to use children and toss them aside. I did my fair share of that back in my homeland. But these false pretenses are a bridge too far. You should have kept us informed, told us the truth. Dispatched to the rulemakers by the administration, their guild master has always been adamant that she does not seek the victory of any one side over another. But now, not only has that been proven a bald-faced lie, but Gorokuro and the other world representatives have been made accomplices to that lie. Ooh, I'm getting the big lordom from Lynn in chat. I will have to read it out. Actually, right, why not right now? The Sephiroth are 10 divine attributes through which God interacts with the world and creates the universe. Crown, knowledge, understanding, counts. This sounds like a real tarot card stuff. And each one corresponds to something specific. That's so specific. What the heck? MC Kengo, Ryota, Toji, Sanzo, Nero, Latotep, or Salam, Amaterasu, and Mikhail. Each character is supposed to represent one of those elements. Sanzo basically connects all 10 together, manifesting Sephiroth. That is like, I mean, if you say so, I'm not sure we're supposed to infer that, but maybe it's explained later, or maybe it's like someone else in the lore channel described it. Little trivia, but I know some locations in Tales of Abyss are based on those Sephiroth. Oh, that's cool. Your options for escape are growing smaller and smaller as the tendrils of Sephiroth, the exception, drives you into an ever-shrinking corner. There's nowhere left to run. It's always a step ahead of me. I'm trying to run gravity towards escape. With that said, even if everyone represents something, I don't necessarily understand how an exception could have been formed from it. Maybe it's not like a contradiction in rules, but more so the summoning of Sephiroth himself constitutes an exception because the system can't handle an amalgam of 10 rules. I don't know. If anyone has a better explanation, I'd love to hear it, but Lynn has been super helpful here, as has Oddly. You fly through the heavens at breakneck speeds, over and over again, but always find Sephiroth blocking your path. It is as if it knows your every move before you make it. Aerthin, are you unharmed? As one of the roots is just about to catch you, but instead is burned away on the spot by Amaterasu's mirror. Amaterasu. I don't need any thanks. I'm merely doing what any good player in this game should. Playing fair. I see. These are the rule makers after all. They absolutely hate rule breakers, which is why all these plans, it's all just to screw over Curran and Mother X apparently. Fuck these rule breakers. With that, Amaterasu diverts her light, her data, elsewhere using the now shattered mirror. In her heart, you can tell she wants nothing more than to apologize. The rest she intends to leave in Mikhail's hands. She's done enough damage as it is. I don't seek forgiveness from anyone for the things I've done. As far as I'm concerned, I did what I had to do. Amaterasu, shaken from the constant fighting, speaks these words in a calm, steady voice, with no hint of uncertainty. She understands that she's hurt many people through her choices. And she has no intention of denying that. She's long been fully prepared to pay the price for her actions. Do you have anything more you'd care to say to me? Right, they did murder their asses. I can never forget what you've done. I can never forgive you, but I still have to thank you. I think I fallen for you. Yeah, I've fallen for you for killing those lame-ass genociders. Let's go. Whatever. Amaterasu does nothing in response. You realize that perhaps she already knew, but just wanted to hear you say the words. The Sephiroth has an 11th secret sphere where all other spheres can be accessed at once. Is that Sanzo's then? What does Sanzo correspond to? She looks down upon the surface, upon your friends there, and smiles. So bustling. Everywhere you go is always so lively. It calls to mind the past. Isn't it strange? All I should be able to remember of it is the shame I'd intended to lament. Amaterasu speaks nothing further aloud after this, her words muttered only to herself. Susano, your future shines brightly within me, so much so that I'm embarrassed to admit it. The light within you makes me so jealous. It always has. It's all I've ever wanted. A single tear runs down Amaterasu's face, dancing in the space between day and night. I am Amaterasu, world representative of Takamagahara, and I shall stand my ground to the end with all due pride in that title. I own all that I could do, all that I could accomplish, all that I could not do, and all that I was unable to accomplish. The sun begins its disappearance beneath the distant horizon, and as Amaterasu stands in this moment that encompasses both day and night, she makes a proclamation. But just for the singular moment, will you stand alongside me here and now? I'm not asking you to forget what I've done. I hope that you never forget my selfishness. This is but a truce I'm asking for. You're on, Amaterasu. But not because I have to. I choose to. Amaterasu smiles like an innocent little girl for just a moment before you and she proceed toward the Sephiroth together. So, in fact, this entire chapter was not about the rule makers trying to win the game, but rather it was to weed out the rule breaker, the cheater.
Hi!
I wonder how they began suspecting there was a cheer in the first place.
ガチで
照らしませ照らし
Maybe their
ませ
intent was just to see the utopian
照らしま
rep. I mean, I guess they had an idea where it was, but it definitely seems like they have some sort of bias towards thinking that what's called the world rep was cheating. Nullified damage. Ew. Oh, it's a survival quest. Yeah, I do believe Amaterasu actually does give some defense buffs to the squares ahead of her, so let's go ahead and do that.
アルス・パウリ
照らします照らしませ
Paired up with a very stupid defensive ability
照らします
that Kiyoma gives it to.
照らしま
アルス
ガチで
もうダメ 照らしませ
Let's go switch sides so that we can move tenacity with Qinglong, as well as maybe get more people to hit Anvari for that curse or dazzle or whatever it was.
照らしませ照らし
損傷警備
もうダメ
I'm a bit worried for Amaterasu if she gets her charge. She'll lose all her defense buffs if she does.
アルス
照らしませはいはい照らしませ
The Sephiroth can also be mapped onto the body corresponding with parts of it. Oh, so kind of like the chocolates.
我ら照らし
生徒たちを守るためだいいなトリトン先生ああ今だけは力を合わせる
Who's using her charge right now? Is this Amaterasu?
損傷警
Really
備
not. I guess that was Kiyoma.
もうダメ はい照らしませ
Such engaging gameplay, guys. Oh my gosh, please. At least make some loose conditions to this possible.
大き
はい照らしませ
盤面の計算終了投稿します
隔てなくこの世の恥をお照らしな照らしませ
損傷警備
照らしませ
For Oh, okay. Well, she's fucking dead. That's awkward. Don't tell me he actually died. Well, what's it called? Apparently there's some new refrain quests, and they feature, awkwardly enough, Mikhail and Amaterasu. So,
アルス・パウリナが定めのもと欲望せよ
集え三大ギルドの勇士たちよ
我ら
I wonder if that was a scripted death for Amaterasu's part. Well, you know, now that we can move units around in our team, perhaps it's not necessarily something that you have to have happen.
損傷警備ここかな
I'm sorry about that. He did it!
素晴らしい再会である礼を言う
Alright, moving on.
東京に集いし名優たちよ
Eden's Roll Pillar, the Sephiroth. I heard all about it from Mikhail once before. Hold on. So Eden does have a world pillar that Mikhail never had, but it's also the exception. A world... I guess that does explain why it's world type. Huh, that's interesting. I never thought that would be a possible combination, but here we are. The path linking the creator and humanity. First to that which links the one, or to Hen, with innumerable lesser beings. It spread across the world far and wide, gathering life everywhere it stretches, consuming the memories of all things to create a singular deity. But my shame is my own to bear, even regret for the things I could never do. I will not offer that to anyone else. Should that path try to cover the world in its entirety, I'll burn it all to the ground before I hand it over. Now to the last. Illuminate till no light remains to spread. Mirror of sanctimony. Yeah, I thought Mikhail didn't have his artifact by choice, but maybe he just knew the nature of it, and which was not given to his powers. A beam of light from Amaterasu's boundless round mirror begins burning through the roots of Sephiroth. Showing how the metaphysical to the physical to physical, the world of emanation, the world of creation, the world of formation and action. I see. This is probably just a lot of things I need to look up. Between your attacks and Amaterasu, the Sephiroth's trunk loses its ability to regenerate. What a shame. It seems this is it, old tree. So many regrets. Wait, did she die? When did she get hit? Amaterasu reflects on the expectations that she would continue to fight alongside Mikhail from here on out. But within these endless loops, I live with you. And you forget. And once you progress beyond this loop, you'll forget all this once more. That's why it's okay. I used up all my power. But before I disappear, let us establish a hierarchy. Establishing a hierarchy is the only way to stop this exceptional energy from continuing to pour into the Sephiroth. If that's what must be done. I was hoping I'd be able to kiss you. What's the expression again? Sweet old Alabama? What? You're even more shameless than I thought. Do you not understand that I'm your sister? I know that in truth, you're not my little brother. Not really. They're doing the Fire Emblem. You're not really my brother, so it's fine. Yet I can't help but think of him when I look at you. You place one hand on the Sephiroth's trunk and use your other to draw Amaterasu close. I don't understand why we're making Kissy with Amaterasu. I don't think she was related to making the exception. Actually, I guess she was. According to one of you guys, they said like 11 people were involved with the creation of this exception. You and she then lock lips in a tender kiss. Twincess bestest. May you always strive no matter where the future takes you. That's all I can truly ask for. It's my final selfish request. Amaterasu, have you finally been able to make your choice this time around? I can sympathize with Mikhail's situation a lot, but I'm kind of like lost on Amaterasu's entire deal. Is it kind of like, it seems very much like her entire thing was just, she did it because she had to. She did it because it was her role. She did it, and things that were kind of like de facto because that's how it's supposed to be, and not very sympathetic as a result. Farewell, you who stood in the same place as I. Hello, Commissioner. I think you probably figured this out on your own, right? But it's time to pull the plug. Choose your response wisely, or I may have to make it public that the Game Masters were in cahoots with one of the players. It would be a real problem for you if it got out to all the app users at this point, no? Why, yes, this is a threat. Accept my terms, though, and my lips are sealed. And this will be my final move before removing myself from play. Ta for now. I thought you wanted to reclaim your position after getting rid of Amaterasu. Did you really just want to drag her down and that's it? I'm left with no other choice. As a game master, I must withdraw from this battlefield. In the end, Raven, serving as administrator, has never been in pursuit of the trophy, but of the game itself. And with an ultimate duty to maintain the system, he's always taken pride in his ability above all others to give players the deepest, most enriching experience possible. But things are different when faced with an opponent who's been ousted from play. Do bear in mind that we are not the only ones privileged with being able to operate from out of bounds, Superintendent. Though my mission fulfilled, I suppose I can't complain. Were I to get too greedy, things might not turn out so well. Raven really showed up, said, come with me, then we didn't, and then he said, okay, never mind. And then that was the end of his role. Raven speaks in soft tones, more to himself than anyone, as the strange soldiers from above begin withdrawing one by one. With no one available to review the work of these outside forces, there's nothing to be gained by them staying and fighting any longer. Do we need to do 10 more guesses? With the Sephiroth's trunk cut off, the shine vanishes from one point in Path of Light. Yeah, it seems he's still there. Despite this, the branches that pierce the heavens and the roots that burrow into the earth remain unfettered, continuing their expansion uninterrupted. Mikhail? Wait, that's supposed to be Mikhail! There you go. Not a fighting Mikhail. Brother? And thus, we are finally the last part of the last episode of the last stream for today's Chapter 15 playthrough. False Prophets of the Future City, Part 3. In a small map. So that's an interesting size to be given for the setup. We'll be facing both Kern and MS or Mother X at C1, as well as the Sephiroth, along with some missing units. There is a coin reward, and let us go see what sort of team we should construct. Probably with Mikhail as the last one. We're not even allowed to pick Mikhail as an ally support. I guess not then. Well, if that's the case, then let's go ahead and bring a coin booster. I would probably replace Lucky Cat if I could, but unfortunately, the Wise Man I have set up is Kiyoma right now, so not the smartest of decisions. I should probably change my Wise Man some other time. But, you know, if I can actually farm seals. So, final battle and final part of this, right? Let's do this. Do I want this setup in front? I don't know. It is not a great setup, but I don't think I can replace anyone at this point. Well, yeah, honestly, Raven Arthur can boost the thing, but it would be better if I swapped him out with Qinglong for a straight-up amp. Okay, let's hop right in. We love our missionaries theme. When I close my eyes, the only memory that passes through my mind is that of my big brother's smile on that fateful day. I was so proud of you. I always strove to follow in your footsteps. But looking back, all I can think about is what I would have done had I been in your position back then. I wanted you to be proud of me too, but I can never be like you. No matter where fate may have led me, I know I could never have been anyone but myself. Let's go Ayama theme. Mother X's terminal once more begins swirling its clock hand-like sickle. It's coming! A time jump! You can take care of it just as I showed you, yes? I can, Mikhail. You don't even have to ask. Your sword now glows with that which rends gravity. I just realized this exception is like... There's a lot of fuckery going on here with this world rep. But yeah, this world rep is... Sorry, I'm confusing both Sephiroth and Mother X. They're kind of distinct, aren't they, right? One is from Utopia, but Mother X actually should be from Utopia, while Sephiroth should be from Eden. It seems that we're trying to fight Mother X right now? I'm not entirely sure. I'm a bit lost here. There are two forms of entities that we have to face, though. Your sword now glows with that much which runs gravity. Sorry, that was a bit of a distraction, but my bad. Releasing the power, you are able to distance yourself just as quickly as the gravity waves reach you. Good. That's perfect form. It may not be the best, but you're clearly putting everything you've got into this. Oh, real funny. I'll remember that. Don't get cocky. I know what you did. Being on the receiving end of a scolding is an interesting feeling. Can't say I mind it. Mikhail muses on this turn around as sounds of battle rage on all around you. You seem close to your limit, but then you are just playing the hero, aren't you? Mikhail, seriously, now is not the time for a witty repartee. What was that? I'm afraid it's far too loud right now. I can't make out a word you're saying. In a way, Mother X is fighting through that robot. Kind of, I suppose. But very fucky for Game Masters to be doing this. Then again, I suppose every other guild master of the three true guilds made their own exception. Oh, Lord Yakov. I keep scribbling him. Lord Yakov. Gabriel, you alright? Mother X is the world representative of Utopia, but we are also facing Sephiroth, who is not a world rep, but is actually the world pillar of Eden. So it's like there's two of them, and they're kind of like both Kern's plans, and I don't know. For some reason, Kern's calling Mother X his brother, which adds a whole layer of strangeness to it since it's Mother. I don't know. We are, thank you, and all your flock for coming so far to help us, Maria. Of course. It seems at long last I have finally caught up with you. Yeah, if I will say, before I forget about Maria here, she has been taking the forefront when it comes to initiative this entire chapter. Like, I mentioned briefly, but like, I was not used to it, but, you know, she's more of a passive being, but she's been very direct and taking the charge of moving everyone around. Be it the Alliance, or the front of battle, or like even now. This seems the perfect opportunity. I'd like to ask you a question if I may, brother. Or no, Arathan. I'm in this hellscape of stars falling and time crumbling. Mikhail can't help but address something he sees as the elephant in the room. You march headlong into the future, even knowing that you may one day leave behind something very important to you. There is most likely no respite to be found in the future. You may be alone there. Does that not frighten you? Mikhail's question, spoken with uncharacteristic meekness, is barely audible as the world accelerates all around you. When I left Aoyama, I never truly believed it would be the last time we'd cross paths. Maria, bruised and battered from the long succession of battles, chuckles a bit at the statement from Yakov, himself equally bruised and battered. Yes, I feel much the same. Perhaps we are destined to reunite here. Mikhail looks up into the sky, which is now calm and serene, with not a single soul living about anymore. He wonders to himself if perhaps his big brother looked up at the sky just like this back then. Amaterasu, I'm sorry. I said such horrible things to you. I told you to stop acting like you were my sister. I was out of line. Mikhail mutters this to himself as he receives the final light. The final piece of data projected into the world by Amaterasu. Once again, he wonders to himself if his brother experienced something similar to this back when he was unable to truly express his thoughts. Brother, I'm sorry to you as well. I was a coward. I wish I told you long ago how much I longed to be with you, even knowing I couldn't. A single tear rolls down Mikhail's cheek, and as it falls from his face, it rolls and dances its way across the battlefield and the sky at blistering speeds. Mikhail. Kern and her soldiers catch up with Mikhail from behind. He composes himself, puts on brave face, and makes a steadfast proclamation. Yes, Eden's avatar. I'm not about to let a mere terminal for a world representative bear witness to any trace of shame from me. The once heroic Archangel makes as if to finally follow his brother's lead from that fateful day. And what remains of Amaterasu's light shows him where to fly, and indicates his opponent's weak point. He is still Eden's ultimate Archangel, which has 12 wings allowing him to fly faster and higher than anyone else or anything else in the world. Faster even than light itself. But every action has an equal and opposite reaction. That which is accelerated must inevitably decelerate. This is an immutable law of nature that applies equally to everyone. And were he to collide with that wall of light, the recoil would send Mikhail tumbling from the heavens with intense force. Just like a shaitan. I guess he knows what he's doing then. Yet Mikhail accepts what he is about to do, merely glancing at you for a moment, before resolving to fall however far and however fast he must. Alright. Time for round 2, little Solomon. Let's not hold anything back. What is this light? I've never seen anything like it before. Oh, is that? Algernon is the first to shout out, as he and his helmet have seen this before in the predictive calculations. Cleaving time itself? That's the work of the exile from Utopia. Who is the exile from Utopia? Kern and her contingent attempt another time leap to intercept you, but it doesn't go quite as planned. What? My brother's arm rotation system! She finds herself unable to put her rule into action, as part of the structure required to do so is promptly destroyed by yours and Mikhail's sudden desperate attack. Double Dragon! Brother. Boundary of self has been lost. Operative status down to 20%. And thus he falls. Mikhail! Finally. I got to take my lead despite our differences. This may be my last stand, but it sure does feel good. Oh man. Is this a new like graphic? This is a new like graphic, isn't it? Yeah, it used to be like fireflies floating around, but now it's like light ascending from upwards. Yes, I think the game is over for me now. With this, Mikhail's body begins to disintegrate into beads of light and rise towards the gate above. I hoped I could continue to butt heads with you as a worthy adversary from here on out. And up till now, I'd probably have capped this off by saying, till the next loop. But sadly, It seems my circle comes undone here. The message is clear. He's lost any and all reason to continue on where this game may lead. And when one's role is no more... Mikhail. Thank you. Now, we have to establish a hierarchy in order to get rid of that Sephiroth, right? I mean, they don't call me the sibling kisser for nothing. Mikhail's tone is almost as if he's teasing you, seeming to enjoy this awkwardness of the situation despite everything. This is so sad, though. If that's what must be done, you're enjoying this little far too much, aren't you? I've loved you for some time, you know. Aw. What? Why haven't you said anything before now? What is this reaction? It's not fair! It's not like fair to save such an incomprehensible confession for a time like this! You know, it's funny. I no longer care which of us occupies that top spot. It no longer matters to me at all. Come here, little brother. Setting yourself on a branch of the Sephiroth with one hand, you use your other to draw Mikhail closer. I can't help but think about when we were little. You always used to hold me like this when it was time for bed. He tenderly stroked Mikhail's hair as he closed his eyes, preparing for your kiss. Sweet home Alabama. Yes, give me all the siblings to kiss. My dear brother. Or no. You're not him. You merely remind me of him. Either way, may your future be blessed. Mikhail, you were a worthy adversary, an absolute peak cinema villain, and you read my heart in twain for the pain that we have apparently wrought you. I'm sorry it had to be this way. Kern's robot may have suffered a hard blow, but it's still in relatively working condition. Additionally, the Sephiroth's exception has once again begun its attempt to regenerate. The trunk and branches have been halted, but the Sephiroth's roots remain stubbornly intact. Arthur, can you hold out just a little longer? I believe, actually, according to what's called Oddly Rivals list, you probably already established hierarchy with most other people, with the exception creation. So, it's his list. I can't see it suddenly. Here it is. MC, Kengo, Shiro, Ryota, Toji. We really did make what's called a hierarchy with pretty much everyone there. And we did with Amaterasu and Mikhail as well. So we just need to do Sanzo, Nyarlathotep, and Arslan now. Toji extends a hand to you, clearly able to see how bruised and battered you too have become. Okay, come with me. I need you to come with me right now. At this point, you have only one sword in your hands, but Toji has another two at his disposal. Ooh! Ooh! It's the equip! I know this is not the right time, but it is my hope to become a member of the police force in the future. Never mind that this is not where it takes place. We are not at Roppongi. I came to this decision when I realized how many memories I have with you here in Tokyo, and how I wish to protect them all. I will never forget these days I have spent with you for as long as I live. Even should we part ways, you will always be with me. So let us put an end to this, to ensure that we are never forced to forget any of what happens again. We shall meet again in the future. I swear to you here and now. Days of Lives, you know it! This is for you, World Exception. The traditional art of the Sakimori clan. Cerulean Dragon Fang! Is this our combination attack that we do with everyone? Man, I am hungry. I didn't have dinner yet. This is a proper battle. No survival. No damage resistance. Let's see if we can skill lock them. I think this is actually a good position though. For now. Mechanics! It's totally happening. Oh, fuck! We suck! I suck! Okay, shit. Oopsie.
重点中
Bitch! What the fuck did he just do? Um...
アルス・パウリナが定める奥房星よ。
重点
Kyowa actually died. Alright, Curran, we get it. You're OP.
夢のアンドガチで参りまするぞとろけカムイ殿うなれ
重点
参りまするぞとろけカムイ殿うなれとうとうお前と一緒だと笑いが止まらんぜさあ次は
And now for the final visual novel section. And the future city is returned. Night falls, and the fires have mostly died down. A single transient observes the state of things closely and delivers a situation report to some distant location. Now it's time for Plan D, where we take down Duo, clearly. So, it seems your interference couldn't quite carry you over the finish line, could it, Kern? Perhaps it's because you were forced to play your hand so much sooner than intended that you're so sorely bested. Duo posits that Kern would have been better served waiting for a moment when securing the trophy could have been accomplished with a greater degree of certainty. Taken down by those two players, were you? That's the only conclusion I can draw here. Oh, I guess it's just desumming now. You touch the one remaining branch of the Sephiroth exception and call it the name of the person it extends to. Wait, we can choose? Oh man, we have to redo this for each one. Jeez. I like Sanzo, I like Neuraltip, but Sanzo Sauter, I'll do Neuraltip on my own time though. Where's Bohemio, man? Let me make out with Bohemio. Ugh, what is that for? I'm so mean I can't even move my fingers anymore. Oh, hey. Damn it. I can't believe you happened to see me like that, Nathan. It's so embarrassing. Hang in there, Sanzo. It's almost over. Honestly, you're amazing. Huh? You're acting like this was the end of a fight. You still need something from me? Oh, wait. Kiss? Establishing a hierarchy? What the hell does that even mean? Why do I gotta kiss you, St. Tokyo? What kind of stuff is that? We didn't have a choice before, right? With every other exception? So this is interesting that we have to choose here. Can we just not kiss everyone? Can we not just have one giant Origichi? You can just go directly skip the end and just see your knowledge up yourself. Sorry, I probably should have checked it out myself. I mean, you know, Sanzo was kind of being a bit flirtatious. I thought that was kind of cute. So, he won me over. You know, meanwhile, is just... His English is definitely a unit. That says, you gotta be against the scriptures, right? Like, it's kind of an awesome deal, but it feels too good to be true. Yeah, you got everyone like something else. Go pick him yourself, jeez. Leeches for the story. Sorry, I'm picking you off the field. Let me pick Sanzo here, jeez. I want Sanzo, you can pick else up in your own game. It's just the same thing. It's just the way things are. It makes me happy too. So you actually want to kiss me then? Where can you kiss Niall? At the very end of chapter 15's section, the very last part after the battle. So you can just press skip once at the very last part and you should be directly taken to the choice. I mean, yeah. Like, if I'm being honest, I do. I really do. I have no idea how things wound up this way, but I ain't gonna look a gift in the horse and mouth. I got another mouth on my mind. So, I guess I'm in your care. Take me to another level, Ayrton. Setting yourself on one of the Sephiroth's roots with one hand, you use your other to draw Sanzo close. Huh? Wait, you're gonna plant one on me? You've got to be kidding. I was thinking it'd be the other way around. I wasn't ready for this. Oh, well, you know, maybe I would have picked that if you weren't such a total dweeb this entire chapter. Sorry, but I'm taking the leader. Despite his shyness, you and he lock lips in a tender sloppy toppy. I'm pretty useless in most regards, but I hope we can be real close from now on, Nathan. Okay? Whoa, the baby's really kicking now. Is it finally time? Call a doctor for me, will ya? I guess since he's an exception that was formed through the formation of multiple powers, it only stands to be true that taking down multiple powers, but not necessarily all of them, would also be enough to desummon the exception. He picked Toji because he's such a dutiful protector, but Sanzo is also very cute, so I did his after. I'm gonna do all of them. I don't even fucking care if like I dislike them or like them. I want to see all the dialogue for kissing. Like, you think I want to be kissing like sister Amaterasu and brother Mikhail? No, I'm picking it for the dialogue. With the hierarchy established, the path of light fades, and the Sephiroth exception disappears into paradise of Avalon. Now that Mother X is out of the picture once more, current calls for an immediate retreat. I saw what you did. That should have been my lips on yours. You better replay this, Nathan. I won't forget this. And as he shuts his eyes. That was the decisive blow. Lord Arsalan's backdrop has decided the match. Holy oil emerges from Arsalan's curved blade sword sacred artifact, giving him the precise environment he needs to oil wrestle Ezekiel into submission. Solomon's sword is a sacred artifact designed to ward off evil, given to him by a wise heroic king. Are we calling Ezekiel evil here? I mean, that's not entirely untrue, but isn't he supposed to be an archangel? Ugh. Don't you see, Ezekiel? Your wish is just as you've stated it to be many times over. You checked all the options for Mikhail and Amaterasu? Okay, I'm just gonna pick the one option that I believe has the most dialogue. I'm not gonna be splitting off just for like, oh, I wish you'd kiss me there instead. Like, that's not worth it for me. It is only in falling that one feels truly alive. Therefore, you wish to fall from as high to as low as possible. I gotta say though, I mean, brother aspect aside with Mikhail, that was a pretty rad scene where we were like, he was falling down just like we were falling down, cast down aside as the angel of Shaitan from heaven down to hell. And we were just like comforting him, like pinning his head. It was like, I don't know, that's such a cute and sad scene too. To finally get that sort of reassurance that he's been missing the entire time. True, but he is kind of possessing his mind. I forgot. Yeah, that bad point about that. To follow the path of Shaitan all those years ago. We've always regretted not falling with him back then, no? Your wish could never be granted. You denied it definitely as Mikhail has always been indulgent his. And that was your sin. But now you have atoned. From now on, you can walk with us. This feels Niels. Ew, I want to be part of the rule makers, not your disgusting lot. Missionary is L. Mechanical box sits in. Oh yeah, this thing. Inside a particular stone monument. The final memory unit. You stand for it now. Is he alive? Have you restored Housamo after he quote unquote died? He's back to life now, right? Yoma. Mr. Mononobe! Arthan. Salomonis. We've finally come. Father! No, I'm not the terminal for Solomon you once knew. Not anymore. But I am the person, the singular human, in you as Housamo Mononobe. I've finally caught up with you. I've missed you so much. I heard that you left so suddenly. I hated that you left so suddenly. I owe you many thanks for your dedication, and a deep apology for my departure. He's finally back! He's back! To ruin the meta! forever and ever. Many tears are shed, but it's clear they're tears of joy rather than sorrow, and they will soon be tears of regret as he just dominates the meta. He's... Christine, did you just say something? Christine just knows that her watcher's back. Welcome back, Bohemio! I'm relevant! Did you forget about me? I got my version released too during that time, but I only appeared just now. While you were gone, I missed hearing your voice so much! It's good to see your dolly old leak again as well. So tell me, how long each one? What of the Shibuya incident? I'm anxious to know what sort of intel you've been pulled in. The guildmaster of the Arakawa Wanderers poses a question to his transient guildmates. Tons! I am, after all, the faithful dog who just sits and waits in front of Shibuya Station and is beloved by everyone. Christine needs to come back in the story ASAP. You love her. I mean, at least she didn't die, right? she's like, oh, dramatic, fates in Spanish, and then, wakes up a chapter later. So I've heard all about the Shibuya redevelopment project from all my recent masters. That's my best choice. I cracked my voice real hard. Here, a running list of Yogi Academy's investors. It just boils the blood to know that people are doing this in my Shibuya. Doing what you say? Takumi, are you back in the fold with us? Are you no longer betraying us for the invaders? Or for Daikoku? What Shibuya incident? I don't even know what they're talking about. Is it the thing with our limb? Yeah, that hasn't been resolved yet. Sorry to say I'm back in town. Heard from an old master that there's still some unfinished business for me to take care of. Vaisagi. Takumi Nakata. Your presence is never any sort of burden. Intrigue is the lifeblood of our business, no? So, as always, I welcome you wholeheartedly back to the Pony Tycoons. Me switching between 10 billion accents because I am shit at accents. I'm Rella too! Welcome back to the fold, Chief Claude. I don't know how he sounds. The conglomerate's not been the same without you. An unfamiliar transient runs up to Claude, cheerfully offering up words of celebration. I hear you had a bit of a scuffle with Baal? Or Baal, I suppose. As he's known now that he's one of King Solomon's familiars, so... Belphegor the intern, was it? Yes, that's right. You had more than just a hand in that, I take it. Claude remembers this new face just in the nick of time, having selected him based on extensive background checks provided by his allies in Wiseman. Oh yes, I don't mean to brag, but no one is more well-versed in external data pertaining to System Solomon than I see, so I guess this is how they name these systems now? System Salmon, System Tokyo, etc. You wish Daikoku had the balls to face Amaterasu directly, but you understand why it's important to stay hidden. Yeah, that's true. I mean, he just wanted revenge in the end to take her down, but I guess Amaterasu never did it directly to Daikoku too. He didn't Takumi Nakata in one room. Oddly, zip up your pants. Well, a higher priority has been assigned to the investment project we spoke of. How are things progressing on that end? Yes, Chief Claude. I'm pleased to say progress on the spacecraft development project in Kamata, toward as well on schedule. Oh yeah, they're making that an actual plot point, not just the random come from Oz. Okay, sure. While each piece on the game board returns to its home space, the board itself is now poised to lift off the face of this planet and into the greater galaxy beyond. Wait, are we leaving Tokyo for Chapter 16? To the space of all places? Who cares about doing research about other countries beside Tokyo? We got space. Do not panic. We have no intention of fighting. We have come to deliver an invitation to you all from our superiors. An invitation to outside of Tokyo? So if I'm to get this correctly, did they use both Oz and Amaterasu to essentially carefully observe the utopian world rep, such that they could eventually spot their betrayal? Maybe that's how they ended up suspecting that they were a cheater. Or rather, in cahoots with the Game Masters. After the after-school hours came to an end and night properly falls, all that remains is to wait for the new dawn to break. What? It just ends like that? What? Well, I guess the invite's the most important thing. That's going to be the lead-up for it. Okay, guys. Kind of a sudden cut to break. Cut to black. Chapter 15. Rule makers times Game Masters. False prophets of the future city. Huh. And that's, well, it's time to do chapter 16 in Japanese. Just kidding. Oh, there's another one. Sweet. Wait, just... Did I not do this already? There are 4 quests in total. How did I miscount them? Why are there 2 seal quests? Is there a difference between these besides the mob? What the heck? The fuck is that? Okay, so the next one is obviously not translated yet. Let's go ahead and quickly do this exception territory quest. I don't know why there's 2 of them, but okay. Sorry, Jack Yang, but you have the game yourself, right? Just go check it out yourself. This is not the special quest playthrough. If it were a special quest, sure, but I'm not doing it just for a bit of split off dialogue just for that. You want to see me voice Nero that badly? Oh. I'm not too happy about my Nero voice. It's kind of just like English, except I'm speaking English, so it's a bit bizarre. I'll think about it maybe after I finish this, though. Let's go ahead and do this seal farm. So I suppose I can give just passing thoughts in the meantime for the quest. I'll give more elaborate thoughts later. And this time I will, yeah, without bars held, since, you know, it is about time. Ooh, this music. Okay, this is the real reason why we farm this, for the cool music. I love this song. This is like one of my favorite post mode tracks ever. Oh yeah, I was worried for this chapter from the previous, what's it called? I was worried about the chapter from the previous playthrough yesterday because it seems that the plot deeply diverged into something completely different. There's a neurolysis, by the way. And I was kind of... it seemed to be ambulating into, you know, random irrelevant stuff from the Rulemaker's original plans. But to be fair, it was, in the end, like, the Rulemaker's plans didn't really manifest in any way. But I think the trick of that is that, as it was revealed in this part... Hey, Kiyomaru loved that. Nice. The trick of that is that, supposedly... What's it called? The entire thing was just a farcical plan to win the game. No one really wanted to win the game except for maybe Yankapon or something. Well, Yankapon was just a side plot to make the humans immortal. I think that was the end all be all. But this entire scheme to eliminate Kiyomaru, apparently, was strictly just to weed out and, you know, make bareface the... What's it called? The Utopian World Rep. Let me just double check something. Yeah, it's not unlocked. It doesn't make sense. I heard that there is a new refrain quest for Amaterasu and Mikhail, but for some reason, even though they're totally dead now, even at the end of chapter 15, they're still not here. You need to finish chapter 16, I believe, or at least be partway through it. Oh, very bizarre. Let's go winner tutorial mission. Yay, 5 stones. But yeah. That music track is one of your chosen songs on home screen? Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, I've decided I'm not going to voice Nero. I'm so sorry, Jack Young, but I have voiced Nero Laptop in other parts of the story. I am kind of surprised of, he wasn't quite as relevant as I thought as he would be. I don't know, I'm switching between these. Yeah. Okay! I am finally caught up with the English translation for the main quest of the After School Summoners. I hope you all enjoyed, for those who began with me from the beginning up until this point, the playthrough that I provided for Chapter 15, Rule Makers X Game Masters. And boy, did it live up to the name, because it was, it definitely lived beyond the certain schemes that both Invaders as well as the Warmongers did, where they both just kind of wanted to win the game, and the Game Master, or rather the Guild Master of each, kind of just wanted to do their own thing. I don't really know. They wanted their own plan to fruition, I guess, but Bertrand not really. Bertrand just wanted to see the moon blow up. But yeah, in this one, the Rule Makers weren't really trying to win the trophy. Well, maybe like Horus and Gorpikon and what's called was Ahon Maza, but they were like incidental in the end. It seems like the main top brass who made that early majority with Mikhail and Amaterasu, aka the main villains since Chapter 8. My god, it's so weird thinking about that. They really were the main villains since Chapter 8, and now they're just gone. Fuck. And it's only like setting on here now. But yeah, they're gone. They're dead and gone. But they definitely stood their grounds to show what the Rule Makers are about. It wasn't about winning the game. It was about setting the rules straight and pulling someone who was cheating down from administration down into the playing field. So we finally got a glimpse of the Game Masters, and boy, did we see that the levels that they would go to deceive and to like interfere with the game was actually a lot grander than we first assumed. It was always like assumed, oh, you know, the entertainers are doing their own thing and the Game Masters are doing their own thing, and the entertainers decided to interfere with the outcome of the game. And it seems that the Game Masters did the same thing too. Interfere in what way? They interfered with the players in a way that they normally wouldn't declare to do, but they did it in such a way to continue the game. So there's sort of a contradiction there where they try not to interfere with the game, but they want the game to continue. And so this is the ultimate contradiction in the face of Mother X and Kern, where they use this terminal robot in order to create this exception, apparently, to eliminate all the world representatives all at the same time, while keeping just the world utopian rep, what's called, of not Kern, but MSC1 alive and Mother X. That's fucked, you know? That's just like, yeah, you know, we know everyone's gonna die except for this one, and that's like, that's not kosher. That's fucked. But yeah, you should study some more giant, please. Go translate this stuff. Yeah, it is. I mean, honestly, even if you do know Japanese, it's gonna be a long shot from you understanding Housmo's translation of all things. Maybe any other story, but like with Housamo, you're not just learning Japanese here. You're gonna have to be learning like the original mythologies too to really understand the context. Because when you learn Japanese, you're gonna be learning about Japanese culture at best, which is a whole different story from learning Japanese language. And then on top of that, you have to learn about like the mythologies through the lens of Japanese, and yeah, it's a whole thing. Just you're better off waiting for the English translation, because it's like, no, they have the actual plot details in hand. Yeah. Choosing Neural makes them happy. I'm gonna choose Neural after the stream, but like I said, I haven't eaten yet, so I like, jeez, I'm dying. I'm gonna eat until I inflate, and then I die. On top of that, one of the players is part of the Game Masters. Yeah, that's totally fucked. The whole thing with Sephiroth was definitely confusing, but I think that's just an excuse that was convenient enough to give us a choice of who to kiss at the end. It is strange that Toji's an option at all, though, because we already did establish a hierarchy with Toji. So that's just weird to me, that Toji was an option. Where's my Bohemian Kiss, man? Where's my Bohemian Kiss? But yeah, plot-wise overall, I want to say one topic for last, but plot-wise overall, it started strong with the Rule Makers plot, and then it slumped with the transition to the Game Masters, aka yesterday's stream. And, you know, I was kind of confused, like, what's the point of the whole explanation for transplanting memories? Like, literally what's the point of it? But, you know, apparently it was just like a giant heist in some way. It was all just layers upon layers upon layers of making people think they're doing one thing, but I mean to do another thing. So I think it's acceptable, kind of extremely big brain, and, you know, it wouldn't be really believable in any other story, but then you just have to remember that we are dealing with people who have lived 10 billion loops, like, actually, wasn't it like 5 billion loops or something, according to Smoky God? Yeah, they've lived ages of loops, and so I guess it is technically believable that they could concoct such, like, a layer upon layer upon layer plan like that, where, you know, they would... Let's go over where the plan even began, okay? To give you an idea of how fucking much of a crackpot idea this is. It all began with the... what's it called? The entertainers, right? The entertainers they apparently cooperated with the lower rungs of Horus and Ahura Mazda, and maybe Corporal, I don't know what Corporal was doing, but that was like always setting the seeds with like during the Invaders arc where Babe Bunyan led the MC to walk on Tonka so that he could eventually eliminate him, so that then they could instill Bigfoot to replace the the world rep of Great Spirit, so that then they could eventually force an exception between him and Kirito, who represents nothingness, and then they would form like an exception, or two exceptions rather, because that's what happens whenever you make an exception. Actually, two exceptions are usually made, right? Now and only one was made, but I guess the Sephiroth was a bit weird as something that was made from multiple rules. Anyways, off track. Both Overlord and Kyoma were summoned as a result. Overlord seems to have been somehow taking the Overlord was summoned through Barong as a medium. I don't know how Barong's fine, because I thought like Overlord just like dipped or something. We never eliminated Overlord, I think. I mean, I think he just like ran off with Kyoma or Kirito or something. Actually, that's true. What's it called? Did they run off with someone in the end? I don't know. That's besides the point. Anyway, the other exception, Kyoma, was created through Bigfoot himself. I think they channeled him or something like that. And then, you know, that was through exploiting this like thing where there was like our limb was in the past, and then Christine wanted this to happen, and Oscar made it happen through like the rules that he was exploiting, or the rules he was changing rather. I forgot what Oscar did specifically, honestly, but with Loki, anyways. Yeah, Loki did something. Yeah. Anyways, the point is, that entire thing with all the motives, the wires of manipulating the entertainers to exploit their administrative guild purposes, was used to eventually summon down Kyoma. I believe actually the role that was swapped was Bigfoot, wasn't it? Yeah, I think that's what Oscar did. He swapped Bigfoot's role from his original one into Wakan Tonka Megans. But yeah, they eventually killed Kyoma, and the whole point of that was to remove the Watcher from MC, so that they could eventually, make sure they can't just kill MC outright, since everything needs to be recorded for some reason, so that they can eventually force an action from, like this is what I'm talking about. It's like layers upon, and then what happens next is just chapter 15 essentially, where they lure out the world rep of Utopia. It seems it was a bit hasty too, since they mentioned it's the first time since they did those transplants. Yeah, I mean, that's why they couldn't have predicted that it wouldn't have worked on Sanzo, because, yeah. It seems like even Kern was worried about it too, because Kern seemed to chase after Sanzo. But, hasty it was. I did follow up with it. It was very accelerative in that way. As long as you believe in this sort of bullshit of like layers upon layers upon layers. And yeah, as long as you can accept that, it's a good chapter. It's a bit of a stretch to believe all that, but again, infinite loops. Okay, the final thing I did want to mention actually though, story aside, the revelations aside, and wherever it's going, Invitation to Elsewhere outside, something like that's gonna be a year away from now, maybe in 2 with part 2 of chapter 16. I know we didn't see them often, but the impressions they left were the best in Housamo. I'm going to miss Mikhail and Amaterasu a lot. I really cannot believe they're gone. They were our earliest real villains in the game, our main factors to make us cherish the friends that we made along the way, to protect them and to rescue them, such that we wouldn't have such an incident of the genociders again. It was our main incentive to get stronger. It was also our main incentive to dismantle the 3 tree guilds, such that we would eventually start off with the warmongers by sneaking in to their police officer to get throw off the balance and cause essentially this procedural dismantling of the warmongers and the invaders and then the rule makers. That all happened because of our interaction with Mikhail and Amaterasu. You could very much say that they are the main reasons why the last 7 chapters took place at all. I know, technically it's more so the game itself and the 3 true guilds, and the loops beyond them, but Mikhail and Amaterasu were definitely the face of that. They were imposing, they were scary, they were ineffable, like difficult to characterize and understand. But in this final chapter, we finally got to understand what was driving behind them. Amaterasu, out of duty bound, seems to do things, not regretfully, but knows that there is a burden behind them. I didn't feel too much for Amaterasu in the end, but I do think that it is kind of a shame how she went out in that way, to both help us continue carrying out the mission, not expecting any apologies, and also, knowing that what she's doing is just yet another thing. Just that she betrayed, or not betrayed us, but rather hurt the genociders and, dismissed our group. So too did she just play yet again, just a part of a larger picture that she saw was for the best. So, from beginning to end, she was kind of just strung along by fate itself. And for Mikhail, that was a lot more personal. Of course, he was a lot more of the scathing words came from him when his invitations to join him as, becoming the god or something. He's invited us several times, at least 3 times in this game, to join his side, and now, as terrifying as that was, for us to be objectified like that, in our eyes, now, it's put it to the light where it wasn't objectification, it was the longing from a younger brother to an estranged older brother. So, that's touching. I don't know, I was not expecting this. I was not expecting Mikhail to be the most heart-touching part of this story. But yeah, I think that's all for my thoughts on this. Let me just quickly check out what you guys said. Now we have to wait for another year for Daddy Dog returns. Yeah, that's a plot detail that we'll eventually see. I mean, it seems that there's something happening there, since instead of joining up and fighting together like they did in the dungeon, they instead decided to just do something else. We'll see what that development leads up to. They might show up for future events, yeah, but you think it's while they're gone. Yeah. I mean, they really haven't shown any other events yet, so they better show up in like Summer Full Twilight or something. I think I saw one of the flashbacks being that. It'd be nice to see some of them, because even with like other world representatives that have left between Valor and Scatlipoca and, what's it called? Wakantanka several times. Like, Jesus. We've managed to really get to know the world representatives, even despite the contentious guild status they have. But neither Mikhail nor Amaterasu has been available in translated event yet, so I would like to know more about them. It's really a shame that they're gone now. I don't know who will fill that void. I mean, Fern is one thing, but she is kind of just like one of 3 so far in terms of like, oh no, it's the game master or the guild master doing their own thing again. So I can't really fathom who the real villain is going to be. It's just like a giant spear in the sky. That with Mikhail and Amaterasu gone, there's like a vacuum now of who is the real antagonist in this game. Something more like ineffable, like a system with some more of a systemic issues. Not quite as enticing. It is still an issue, but there's no more face to it. That's kind of sad. Anyway, yeah, I'm excited for the future here too. But we'll leave it at that for now. So, that's it for today's stream. There'll be no more stream tomorrow, because that was the final stream, of course. I am not privy to much in the future, but I do know, I'll let you know now, there should be a campaign coming up this coming week. Yeah, I know, another campaign. This must be like the 6th or 7th in a row. That's all I know, so I guess I'll see you guys for the next first look stream for that. Yeah. That's all for now, kiddies. Catch you next time.